Well, hello there, wherever you are. Welcome to a beautiful, sunlit, windy afternoon here at the Everest Cricket Ground in beautiful Guyana. It's the reunion of the 1983 Shell Shield and Geddes Grant Harrison Line Cup. For the champion team that year, Guyana made it into a double. And at the same time, too, they're celebrating the lives of three members of that famous 1983 squad that won the two-time title. That's the one-day and the four-day titles. And we speak of no other than the late Andrew Light, opening batsman, Roy Frederick as well, and Clive Lloyd, who was the last one that passed away.
Clive Lloyd, Clive Butts.
Clive Butts, what am I saying? Yeah, my apologies to everybody, that's right. Clyde Butts, our colleague in the commentary panel as well. Beautiful atmosphere out in the middle, and the news is that the challengers, Sean, will be batting first. Hello to you. It's a privilege to be doing this game.
Yes, certainly a privilege, and way back in the days when Guyana were strong, and they won the first time. That was the first time ever any team in the Caribbean had won the double, the first class and the regional one-day tournament. And that was a magnificent team. Clive Lloyd led that team, the great Clive Lloyd. Sir Clive Lloyd, he was knighted by the Queen in 2002, so we've got to recognize him as Sir Clive. And a lovely day for cricket here at Everest.
Yes, Sean, and we already have the two opening batsmen out in the middle. And that one that you're seeing at the non-strikers end, I think?
Yeah, President
right.
Irfan Ali.
His Excellency, Dr. Irfan Ali, the President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. And with him, that's Stage Narayan Chandapal.
Yeah.
So we're having the President and the little cub opening the batting here for the challengers team.
And the son of the late Clyde Butts, Collis Butts, who is himself a prominent first division off spinner. He's going to open the bowling.
Yes, a wonderful guy too. And of course, no doubt the traits of the father through the genes would have passed on to him. So, during the course of our commentaries here today, we surely will be going into the stand, picking out some of these legends, and great to have them. We all had a nice discussion, so friendly, so charming, you know, fellas that are great for humanity. So we're about to witness the first delivery. Sean, you can take it off.
Yes, well, it's going to be Clyde Butts' son, Collis Butts, also C. Butts. So he's going to bowl from the southern end. Right arm off spin, flights the ball, that's a wide.
Well, I wonder if he's intimidated there by His Excellency out in the middle, who is a cricket fan.
Yes, and he's a very good tape ball player also. And Clyde Butts' son, Collis Butts, bowls another wide.
Yes, and President Ali there decked out in his white pantalones and his red t-shirt, and so too Tej Narayan Chandapal.
Yes, the challengers in red, the champions in blue, and President Irfan Ali is off the mark, punches it off the back foot towards cover.
Yes, and nobody would have liked to see Jonathan Fu sending in a quick return there. The President gets his first run.
Yes, so he stands with his hand akimbo, leaning on his bat at the non-striker's end. He's on one, the left-handed Tej Narayan Chandrapal, who's had not a great time in recent times for Guyana and the West Indies.
Yes, he's going to feel privileged batting with the President of his country.
And good delivery there from Butts. But Butts seemed to be deliberately bowling gently to the President, and that's a good delivery to Chandrapal.
Yeah, and what happens, Sean, when these men migrate from Demerara and live in Berbice, they eat a lot of roti and rice, all right?
Yeah. Again, outside the line of the off stump, another wide. So the umpire's got a good job on his hand.
Of course.
Earning his money today. Already in the first over, another wide.
Yes, and maybe we'll just run through a list of some of the legends who are here today.
Back goes Dr. Irfan Ali, and pounds it away. Will go down towards the boundary close. and pull back just inside. And Shamroy Barrington, with the big shades on his face, throws the ball back towards the keeper. And there's just a single.
And that was a good-looking shot too. It kept low. He went on the back foot and scored through the offside. Looks good. Can't get a single this time. And the legends, we talk about Andrew Light. He has gone to the great beyond, as well as Roy Fredericks and Clyde Butts.
Well, this is a culmination of the events to commemorate the 1983 team. The first day they had a cocktail at Castellani House, and then they went to a gala dinner at the Princess Hotel, and then yesterday they would have traveled to Essequibo.
Hampton Court.
Yes, and then today it was supposed to be a Butts Memorial, but the late decision to add in all those who had passed away, including Light and Roy Fredericks.
Yes, and they're scampering there for the single, Sean. Well run. And first overs come to an end. And certainly we're going to get the score for you in a moment. But lots of wides and a few singles there.
8 without loss.
8 without. And Sean, in that 1983 squad, we had Andrew Light, Roy Fredericks, Roger Harper, Monty Lynch, Faoud Bacchus, Clive Lloyd, Milton Paidana, Derek Calicharan, Garfield Charles, Clyde Butts, Leslin Lambert, William White was also a part of that party.
And Kamal Singh.
Yes, Kamal Singh
replaced Butts in the one-day version.
That's right. He was built for that medium fast bowler. It was a joy to reach him this morning. Very mannerly. So the second over is about to be started. And President Ali with the willow in his hand. Well, on the back foot there, trying a thing and a wide. But he fancies himself, and he's been around the country. You know, this is a great thing about a man who is very humble, President Irfan Ali.
And he's also relatively young. He's 43, same age as Sarwan. They grew up together, good friends. And he punches the ball into the offside, gets another single, and he goes now to 3.
Yes, and President Ali has been across the country. He has been doing cookouts wherever, we're in the hinterland, in the coastal belt, throwing up a pot of cook-up, you know, a kahari of curry, playing dominoes, barefooted, walking the sands with the guys, sleeping in hammocks, spreading his mat and doing his thing. That's humility.
I was talking to the taxi driver of the day. We were talking about the exploits of the president. This is a loose shot, beaten outside the line of the off stump, not outside the umpire, Matthew. And one thing that struck me was that President Irfan Ali is going all over the country. It's very accessible to the people. This is a ball that's hit in the air, and there's just the single as Chandra Paul gets off the mark, brings Dr. Ali back into strike. And Dr. Ali, not only is young, he loves sport, and he would have been the one really initiating the conference, the sports conference in Trinidad and Tobago that's supposed to be on the 17th and the 19th.
Well, that was hit like a bullet off the bat. The fielder got it in the hand but had to lose it, Sean. It went over his head, and for his own security, you better don't take the catch.
So the President Ali outscoring young Chandra Paul, short.
Yes, and that's Kevin Sinclair,
away.
Sean, with a broad smile on his face there, shaking the heads. Kevin was very early at the ground here today. It was good to see him relishing the opportunity to be a part of the legends here today.
Yeah, that's why you don't often get to play in the same game with the president of your country. One prime minister, the Grenadian prime minister, he played first class cricket for the Windward Islands. One match he played, and this is hit by Chandra Paul for 4. So the first boundary of the match, Chandra Paul getting a full toss and hitting it away over the head of mid-off for 4. So
Yes,
the
he's going to
total
feel
now is-
comfortable.
Yeah, the total 15 without loss. No, not Steve Minfa.
Yes, and just to remind our listeners and viewers, the Regional Shell Shield 4-Day Tournament was played from 1966 to 1987 under the Shell Shield brand.
Yeah.
That was a Jamaican oil company, right?
Yeah. And the Geddes Grant Harrison line also was played up to that time. As we look out, we see the beauty of Guyana, the Atlantic Ocean, the coconut palms, the leaves fluttering in the breeze.
And not to meet too many coconuts there. Some are dry. That's testimony of the dry conditions we have endured in Guyana for the last couple of months.
So Garfield Charles makes his way off the field, replacing Leslie Lambert. Well, Leslie Lambert in that 1983 tournament had 7 wickets at Albion.
Yes, Sean, and I remember that was a devastating
Yeah.
spell of fast bowling. Tremendously well when they played that game against Trinidad and Tobago
Yeah.
at Albion.
And he played his club cricket at Albion. So Stephen Jacobs replacing Butts. And this is a full toss hit out towards Garfield Charles, who as soon as he comes onto the field, he touches the ball.
Yes, Garfield Charles, we remember him well.
I remember Garfield Charles hitting me 1 bounce into the Atlantic Ocean, and he's out.
And that staging around Chanterpaul, just lobbing a catch down to Kevin Sinclair at extra cover, and he's not going to drop those at all.
No, and Stephen Jacobs, the off spinner, played some first-class matches for Guyana, primarily as a batsman, but towards the back end of his career, he became a bowler who batted late in the order, and he's picked up the first wicket. Chandrapal goes. Chandrapal making, I think, 6. And the total now is, we'll just get the total in a while. 1 wicket down.
Yes, and maybe we can continue to talk about that Shell Shield tournament. Guyana first won in 1973 under Rohan Babulal Kanai. The feat was repeated in 1975 under Clive Lloyd, who is here today. And then we had to wait 8 years before another title under Clive Lloyd in 1983 when we did that double, bringing home the Geddes Grant Harrison line. That was a 50-over regional tournament. And certainly that's a proud bunch of cricketers, you know, and they're enjoying Guyana. Good to see them here. And in honor, Sean, of 3 names that we call: Andrew Light, Roy Fredericks, and of course Clyde Butts, who all played pivotal roles in bringing home that trophy.
Yeah, well, in 1983, Butts had 25 wickets, the most for Guyana. And this is a ball from Jacobs.
And you're so right, Sean.
Barnwell plays it into the onside. He's off the mark. And the total going up to 18.
And
18 for 1.
in that 25 wickets that he took, 3 times he took 5-wicket hauls.
Yeah, and Butts took 25 and Harper took 24. But it was not all spin. Leslie Lambert had that 7-wicket haul. He ended up with 12 wickets in the tournament. And of
Derek
course-
Calichoran took some wickets as well. He
And-
had a 6-wicket
yes,
haul.
and he made some runs. Yes, he was 5th on the best bowling figures behind Lambert. 3 bowlers, including Davis, had 33 wickets. Roberts had 23, and then Lambert had 20.
Yes, and you mentioned that name, Winston Davis. He picked up, after this delivery, cutting, not making any contact, 10 wickets against Guyana in that first regional 4-day match for the 1983 season that was played January 21 to 24. There's a drive over the top of extra cover. Has it cleared? It has, and that's a maximum. Well played.
Yes, we expect Barnwell to play shots like that. He is a present 4th division player. And Jacobs bowling from round the wicket, just too full. And Barnwell in his zone, just playing with the flow and hitting it easily for 6.
Yes.
So Jacobs, quicker delivery and turned into the onside.
And the president is very energetic here and sure that he goes through for another single. Well, in that match, the first of the first class season in 1983, Guyana, they were bundled out in the first innings against the Windward Islands for 162. Winston Davis 6 for 54. Norbert Phillip 2 for 33. And Kentish, you remember that off spinner?
Spinner Thomas Kentish.
Yes, picking up 1 for 47.
So that's the team there you're seeing on your screen.
Yes.
That's Garfield Charles, Kamal Singh, Monty Lynch when he had hair, Ray Joseph, Roger Harper, Clyde Butts, he's one of the deceased, William White, Derek Ali Charan, Leslie Lambert, Tyrone Etwaro also when he had hair, Fawad Bacchus, Clive Lloyd, Roy Fredericks, Andrew Light, and Milton Paidana also
Yes.
when he had hair.
Exactly. So that's the team, absolutely, that brought home the 2 titles in 1983. The Windwards responded to that 162 with 258. Clyde Butts picking up 5 for 81, the first of his 5-wicket haul during that season. And Guyana responded with 334. Davis again 4 for 78 and Phillip 4 for 77. The Windwards bundle out for 130 with Roger Harper picking up 5 for 33 and Butts 2 for 30. Fawad Bacchus, a magnificent 143.
Yes, and I was telling him earlier today that my address, when I was little, I was living in West Rumwell with my mom. It was 143 West Rumwell. So I always remember that. And also, he was a former student of the school I attended, Richard Ishmael. We played for the Richard Ishmael trophy after Bacchus went to South Africa. Before that, we played for the Fawad Bacchus trophy.
Yeah, well, that's nice to hear. One of the most exciting players you could see on a cricket field with the bat in his hand. And a big drive here by the president, Dr. Ali, and just missing one outside the line of the off stump.
And in that first match against the Windward Islands, Guyana ended up winning by 108 runs. And they beat the Leewards in their second match by 173 runs. Their only match that they didn't win was when they played Barbados. In the third match, they drew that match, beating Trinidad by 9 wickets and beating by innings and 101 runs in their last match.
Yeah, yes, and you mentioned about the second game there. That was played from January 28th to the 30th with Guyana taking on the Leewards.
So Niall Smith comes into the attack.
Guyana won that encounter by a whooping 173 runs.
Yeah.
The Leewards 91 and 267. Guyana 213 and 318 with the late Andrew Light, a sparkling even 100.
Yeah, well, in the match when they made 517, that was the second highest score made by Guyana. In fact, it was Roy Fredericks, who was the player manager in that team, came out of retirement, played the last 2 matches, made a century against Trinidad at Albion, and made a double century against Jamaica. He's the only sitting parliamentarian, he was the junior minister of sport at that time, in the world to ever score a first-class double century. And when Guyana made the highest score, 641 for 5 declared, Fredericks scored 200s in that match against Barbados in 1967. That was the first match Guyana played after independence. They were Guyana.
And that surely will be called a wide, way outside the line of the off stump. And you mentioned that 1983 match at Border, Guyana winning by an innings and 101 runs. Jamaica batted first, they scored 149. And Derek Calichoran, 21.5 overs, 5 maidens. Derek picking up 5 for 60. And certainly that was splendid wicket taken by Derek Calicharan. Good to see him here today.
Yes, and in those days, the three-prong spin attack was Butts, Calitran, and Harper.
Exactly. You're absolutely right with that one. And there was other good performances as well. Fouled Backer scoring a half century. So too Clive Lloyd 64, and Derek Calicharan also scoring a 50 in that game at Border.
He scored 350s in that tournament, and he scored 44 against Trinidad. So
what happened now? There was a no ball? Yes. A straight no ball. Had to be a no ball. Was a free hit?
Yeah, Chattogoon with his leg spinners. So at least he could say he bowled the president. You don't have to tell people that it was a free hit.
And the president will say the free hit, so he doesn't count. That's why I went after it.
Here's Chattogoon, and President Dr. Ali just looked the cut.
And Sean, in that match at a border, Milton Paidana, he stumped Fletcher and Davidson, had 2 catches, Nita and Walsh, 4 dismissals in the 4th innings behind the stumps.
Well, I always say that who I saw, Paidana was the best wicketkeeper I ever saw.
Milton Paidana.
Played
And
for Police in Guyana. And also in Berbice, he played for Berbice Police.
Yes, and look at the president stepping on the front foot and playing with soft hands and scampering for the single as well.
Yes, and you could say that he's still there, and the test player has gone.
Yes, in that Barbados Leewards, that was a hectic game in 1983 as well.
Yeah, so Chattogoon bowling to Barnwell.
We're going to have a double change in the commentary box at the end of this over. And the right-hander Barnwell running away. The ball goes into the offside field. The over's been completed, Sean. We're going to have a double change. Naeem and Machi Kisoon will take charge.
Thank you, Inderjeet. 31 for the loss of 1. This what a great atmosphere to remember the legends and what they did. That double, as we watch Garfield Charles, one of the legends, forces the president onto the back foot and he steers it out into the offside. Stephen Jacobs is out there. So the legends, they're in the field, but they've got the youngsters who are there, and West Indian players and the Guyana players as well, and some former Guyana players as well, Stephen Jacobs and Leon Johnson, who is doing duties behind the stumps, actually, and not doing a bad job. Looks to sweep, Barnwell, wraps on the pad. That's Garfield Charles, has always been an excellent cricketer for Guyana down through the years when he played for Guyana, very consistent. And he was a medium fast bowler, if I'm correct, and did very well for Guyana. Very consistent indeed. Welcome, Naeem.
Peels off the outside edge, taken there by Kevin Sinclair. So Barnwell goes away. That's wicket number 2. So I like the atmosphere I'm seeing here. Matthew Kisoon, 31 after 5 overs. It's 5.2 overs. Nice little pockets of crowd assembling at the Everest ground. And of course you've heard so much from Inderjeet and Sean Levers talking of taking your mind back to the 1980s when the double was recorded by Guyana. So trying to relive those moments, as Inderjeet pointed out, to celebrate, not necessarily to mope or mourn the deaths of these stalwarts that have gone, that's Andrew Light Fredericks and Clyde Butts. What more to celebrate and to remember the efforts that they brought to the game.
So the former Guyana West Indies captain Ramnari Sarwan will now come out to do battle with the president of Guyana, who's still there. So what is happening is that in this game, you bat, you make a certain amount of runs, and then you come off and another player comes out. So Ramnari Sarwan comes out now, and we know all about him, of course. But remember this game today in memory of three of the great players of 1983 that would have passed. But Garfield Charles, one of the legends, bowls on the leg stump, and that's turned away to backward square, where they pick up a single. He gets off the mark. But nice gesture. It shows what history is all about, the beauty and the memories that exist that always speak of richness and quality. And when you look at cricket down through the years, the Guyana side has always been a strong side, 70s and 80s, even in the 60s. And you need that sort of tradition to continue.
The president has been very meticulous in his approach. He's been turning and working it into the gaps, and softly too, picking up his singles, ones and twos. Pleasant atmosphere, as Indrajit was lamenting earlier on. It's very windy here at the Everest ground. We've got a few clouds scattered very, very high, of no danger to usher in any kind of rain.
That was a quicker delivery from Garfield Charles, and this over comes to an end. So what is happening with the youngsters out and some of the existing and former players? They're in the field for the legends. You'll have one of the legends coming out, or from the 1983 side. So Garfield Charles is out there. And we had earlier, that was Leslie Lambert, who bowled from the Atlantic Ocean end. So Garfield would have done his part, and I think he's making his way off, and it looks like Derek Kalicharan, is it? Yeah. Derek Kalicharan is coming out now, and we know all about Derek Kalicharan, who would have done good service for Guyana down through the years that he played for. Indrajit and Sean would have given you some stats on him. He comes out and he's at extra cover.
Just discuss that now. That got things together.
So Derek Kalicharan, of course, was a part of that team in the early 1980s. He's on the side, still pretty active in the United States. But a lot of Derek's cricket, Matthew, was played for the United States against the UAE, several other teams across the world. But he's still very, very active. Wide signaled. So one of the matches Indrajit alluding to, pointing, is the border game. That was the Geddes Grand Tournament at that time. Guyana 211 for 8 after 41 overs, and Jamaica 25.
83 all out in 25 overs. Guyana winning by
25 overs.
128 runs. You look at the score in that game. Light 10, Fredericks 9, Lynch 5, Bacchus 28, Lloyd 7, Kalicharan, that's Derek Kalicharan 68, not out. And Milton Paidana 26, Komal Singh 44, and Roger Harper won. But you look at the highlight of Kali Charan's innings there. As a left-handed batter, 68 not out. His performance was tremendous in ensuring that Guyana won that final.
Well, actually, Matthew, the president is bit of laughter being injected here. I thought he was bold, and then a no ball was suddenly called. Belatedly, maybe?
I think the strategy is to allow the president to bat for a little while as well, because it's not that he's hitting boundaries, and they don't mind that because it's a T20 game. You're going to go after the more established batters to bowl very well to them. But looking back at that game, that finals, and you look at
Jamaica bowled out for 83.
Jamaica being dismissed for 83, and you look at the wickets column for Lambert, 2 wickets. Garfield Charles picked up 5 for 18 in that game, and Roger Harper 3 for 13. Memories, memories, memories. That's a nice shot from the president down to long on for 1. He looked pretty good with that shot.
Airborne for a while. But I think the mission here of the organizers of this game is to relive the happy moments of the 1980s when some of these legends available in this game today also played at that time. And they were going through the list at the back. Roger Harper, he's still around. Garfield Charles, the Bacchuses, Fredericks, well, he's the deceased, one of those persons whose life we are celebrating. Good to see Milton Paidana as a youngster watching cricket, and he's in the squad here today.
That's a proud team to look at on screen. Very proud team to look at, led by Clive Hubert Lloyd. Sir Clive, he's here. He'll come out at some point in time in this game. But Derek Kalicharan, the leg break bowler, will come into bowl to the president.
Now reminds me of the shot that Rohan Kanai played many decades ago, landing on his buttocks. But on that occasion, a 6 was struck. On this occasion, the president is being sent back by the umpire. The umpire has a lot of power in this game. He can call you in, and send you back out. Well, an air of chucklety here, Matthew. The crowd liking this.
Certainly. Took it on the full toss, hit it straight to the field at mid-wicket. That's Jonathan Fu. And he dropped the catch. There have been a few drop catches here off the president's batting. Down the track this time. And Leon Johnson, who is wicket keeping, I'm not sure I've ever seen him wicket keep before. He didn't stump the president. Look at the leg break. Look at the turn from Derek Kalicharan. He's still got the class and the skill even at his age. The over comes to an end. Nice atmosphere. Good cricket.
So the president finally departs the middle at the Everest ground, and he's going to make his way. And the crowd liking this nevertheless, Matthew. But I was just amazed looking at Derek Kalicharan. His fitness, his body language, very active. He's 65 years old.
Mm-hmm.
He did not play test and first class. He played first class cricket, but no test or ODIs. And 39 matches.
39 first class matches from 1979 to 1986. 61 innings, 1,459 runs with a high score of 88. Look at his average, 24.72. For a lower order batter, I think he would have batted at around 8, number 7, number 8. 950s, pretty good. And then you see his bowling record, pretty good as well. 98 wickets, a best of 6 for 60. And his match, 9 for 146. Best bowling figures in a match. His economy rate, pretty good, 3.01. That's fantastic. 3 4-wicket hauls and 5 5-wicket hauls. Excellent cricketer for Guyana. Served well down through the years again. Derek Kalicharan. And we know about his brother Alvin Kalicharan as well. He's not here.
And he has a huge sense of humor, Alvin Kalicharan. I've been told, I saw him on a few videos too.
I think the Minister of Culture, Youth and Sport has come out now to take strike. He's a left-handed batter, would have played his cricket forever rest, this same club. So he's at his home ground. Derek Kalicharan brings him forward. Taken by Johnson. So the Minister, left-handed batter with Ramnarisaran out there now. Look at Derek Kalicharan from that angled approach. That's what we've known of him. Look at him. Lovely delivery. The googly right across, turning across Charles Ramson Jr.
But in those days, Derek Kalicharan's time, I think they gave it a lot more air than you see now in T20 cricket.
That is true. That is true. So true.
Lots of air, flight.
Very respectful to Derek Kalicharan. His over comes to an end. And for me, what I'm really happy about is that these legends and the great cricketers have been very good over the years. Look at the crowd on hand. Very good crowd. Look at the big scoreboard, Everest scoreboard to the left of the pavilion. And look at the many people who've come simply to give support and to say, hey, we love you, we respect you. We would have cherished moments in our time when Roy Fredericks played, when Clyde Butts would have played, and also the late Andrew Light. Garvin Ned will bowl now from the commentary box, and he is a former Guyana off spin as well.
Ramnarisaran still has that familiar characteristic when he's batting, where he keeps the bat aloof off the ground for a while.
I remember him as a 15-year-old playing for Guyana. When he burst on the scene, he was playing way before that, of course. I think around age 10, 11, we knew of him. But at 15, for Stella Maris. But you saw the talent. You saw the natural talent and class in him. What a wonderful batsman he has been when he played for Guyana and the West Indies.
But I was fortunate to watch him at age 12. I'll tell you a little bit about that. Ramson Jr. facing up to Garvin Ned. But we were at Border in 1994, England against the West Indies, when we saw him struck on the pad of no interest. But we saw him coming onto the sward after the day's play. And we're looking at this youngster, not knowing his name, of course. And I was saying to Jonathan Agnew from the BBC, who was on a part of the panel with me, and I was saying, look at this youngster. And Jonathan Agnew was saying, that's one for the future.
He was absolutely spot on. You look at his stats, Sarawak's 87 test matches, 5,842 runs. Well, I'm having a look at it. Personally, highest score of 291, average of 40, 1,531 50s. Again, look at the crowd in the stands now. Really nice crowd on hand to give support. I saw one of my workmates who came very early, and she said to me she's staying on. Look at his ODI career, 181 matches. Again, looking at that, 120 is highest score, Sarwan. 538 50s. In the air, down to the mid-wicket area, Shamroy Barrington comes in. He takes a signal. He's got 23 test wickets actually, Sarwan, in his bowling career. And 16 ODI wickets. Very interesting indeed. Good cricketer.
And when he exited the international stage, you look at his averages actually, 40 in test cricket, 42.7 in ODIs. T20s, he had an average of 22.9. And for even the IPL, 18.2. So Sarwan has had a rich background.
Here is the Minister of Sport hitting that over the top. I think it hit, well, it did bounce before it hit the rope, and he gets the boundary. Picked it up nicely and sent it over the wide mid-on area. But one thing I must say, Naeem, is that down through the years, we had no choice but to listen to cricket. Then in the 70s, 80s, radio commentary was fantastic. Sliced in the air, top edge, falling safe into the offside. And that's what that excited us. Listening to cricket commentary, and you hearing names like Garvey Charles, Leslie Lambert coming into bowl, the foul Bacchuses and so on. That's all we had to work with then.
Yeah,
in those days.
The options were very limited. That's going to carry all the way towards mid-wicket, 4 runs. Have a little look at it again. Short there, Kalicharan. In the many, many decades ago, 50 coming up for Ramnuri Sarwan's 4 there, recording 50. But just coming back to the issue of radio, well, they hadn't much choices. And sometimes even radios were in short supply. Those people who are doing pretty well in the countryside, you'll go over to their homes to listen to cricket.
That's true.
So
That's true.
Although the variety was not there, you didn't have television, even radios were in short supply. We used to go over, Andrew Jackman played for Guyana.
Right.
His brother Colin Jackman played for Guyana. And we would go over to their homes to listen to cricket when the West Indies is touring.
And the transistor radio was very popular, of course, in those days, because you had a crowd would gather around one transistor radio to hear the commentary. Fantastic. The over comes to an end. So, Inderjeet will come in to continue this, but this is good, rich history. We're looking back with what the legends did, claiming the double in 1983. The Guyana team, led by Clive Hubert Lloyd, and most of the members are here at this point in time. You just saw the big ball signaling ICC T20 cricket. They'll be here in the Caribbean and the United States. They had the big opening at Movie Tongue, I think it was last week. But really good. Garvin Ned, the old boy, he wouldn't like me saying that, but he's continuing, and here is Inderjeet to join 9.
Hello, Naeem. Just saw Derek Kalicharan rolling back the years. Look at him when he came into bowl. The hand is coming up above the head. Nice flight, some bite and turn from the pitcher. The youngsters who are here today watching this game should feel really, really happy. They're learning something.
Well, it's an opportunity of a lifetime. You don't get it very often. And this, of course, is the inaugural one where they're reflecting and remembering, getting back the legends. There are many of them you may not see back on a cricket field.
Yes, so true. And I guess our cameraman from time to time, they've been doing a fantastic job. Will certainly give us some view from inside the pavilion where our legends are. Thank you, guys. That's absolutely good you're looking there. Some somber faces, some smiles. Guyana is known for the beauty of its women. And those ladies there, they're testimony to that. I know you have an eye for beauty, Naim. Tell us. And, you know, as we are saying that on behalf of the entire FL sports team, you know, our individual families, as you watch out there too, you can see that that's we're bringing you a view of exactly what's transpiring there. You know, lots of people have turned up to see this cricket. We want to say congratulations to you, Naim. You have tied the knot yesterday. We wish you all the best, you know, and God's richest blessings.
Well, thank you, Indrajit. And the pictures are flowing on FL Sport. That's a picture of the pavilion and the small pockets of people. Well, not pretty small. The pavilion is pretty filled to capacity, actually.
That's a lovely looking on drive out through wide mid-on, out towards the boundary region. And they get this single. Charles Ramson Jr., the Honorable Minister of Culture, Youth and Sport in Guyana. He has been doing a fantastic job, you know, around the country with sports ground. And there it's another view of some of our spectators. Just trying to see if I can pick up a few difficult, some strange faces there. Some strange glasses as well.
Perhaps many of them are legends in their own right in another area of life.
Yes, and one of FL Sports legends, Sunil Joshua, recently tied the knot as well. We want to say congratulations to Sunil Joshua and his beautiful wife, Nikita. You know, blessings upon. Yes, guys, we are happy that you can, you know, recognize that you're live on FL Sports.
Very windy afternoon here at Everest. And on the, is this Gudakesh Moti? Big haul, sort of a shot into the onside field by Ramson Jr. And that's the stance there for you. Not filled to capacity, but certainly interesting faces, and you can see the spirit of Chocolty actually existing around the ground. This morning I was walking across. Typical Sarwan shot, and that goes all the way into the mid-on boundary for 4.
Yes, and that's the way Ramnare Sarwan will play. Very elegant. He can play all the shots in a cricket book. And look at what we've seen there. That's the replay. Nicely hoiked away and brings him a boundary to well played. The score has gone on to 63. Well, that's a beamer. No ball signal by the umpire. And Ramnare Sarwan just letting loose of his weight. Graffiti pulling him down. Just trying to avoid that a full toss. Look at this time.
Full and high. And he's not a fast bowler, so there was no danger posed to Sarwan. But I think he was taken by absolute surprise, Ramnare Sarwan. So he was deciding whether to adjust the shot. At the last moment, he perhaps just said, let me go flat on my buttocks.
Yeah, Naim, let me ask you this. When did you start your commentary career as a radio cricket commentator, as this one is blasted down towards the cover boundary for 4 by Ramnare Sarwan?
But I was coming to that when I was sitting with Matthew, that I did not get the chance to describe the Lloyds and the Fredericks, but I looked at them as a little boy growing up at the border ground. Avinash Ramzan from the newsroom and his colleagues there from the press. But I started off in 1988. I would have seen described some of these people. An appeal for run out. Let's see what's the
Well,
decision of the umpire.
Umpire's made up his mind very, very clear. Well, he took a year and a half and a couple days, some hours and some seconds and minutes before he gives our one out.
Well, that discretion that was afforded to the president will not be offered to every single batsman that comes in there.
Yes, and in the background, Sean is saying, not even the chairman of selectors. Ronnie has to go, but while he was out in the middle, I think he reached home. Yes, we've just been told on the a replay there that he actually just didn't make that one. So another wicket has gone. We want to remind you this is a reunion cricket match of the 1983 Shell Shield and Jedis Grant Harrison Line Cup. The champion team, they're in Guyana here. And that's Milton Paidana you're seeing with the red cap there. Looks a different man. Hugging Norman McLean, former Chief of Staff of the Guyana Defence Force.
And president of the board, too.
Yes, and Commissioner of Police, Hicken, is outside there as well. So this is why we call it the Legends. And hiding behind one of those green posts there, just can't make out that individual. Tyron Etwaru, I've been told. Yes, we reach all of them this morning. So thanks, our cameraman on FL Sports doing a great job. We talk about Milton Paidana, and certainly one of the best wicket keepers. January 27, 1950, born in New Amsterdam. This guy's 74 years old and still looking good. Physically fit Milton Paidana. You saw a lot of Milton Paidana?
I saw him as a spectator, of course. Didn't get the chance to describe him. I described from the 80s where I would have had the opportunity to talk about Roger Harper and the Clyde Botts, Clayton Lambert and Danny Ram, those players.
Yes, and the new batsman out in the middle there is actually Fawad Bacchus, one of the most flamboyant in that era of world cricketer.
If you ask me what I like about Fawad Bacchus, I would say, and I saw him as a spectator really, I would say to you, I like to see him field, even more than batting. He was very flamboyant, but I got the impression that because of his ultra aggression, that Fawad Bacchus could get out, but you could see great stroke play. But there was one thing I'm 100% sure about: I love to look at him field.
Absolutely. So Fawad Bacchus batting with Charles Ramson Jr., Honorable Minister of Culture, Youth and Sport here in Guyana. And Butts begins his bowling. That's the son of the late Clyde Butts. And nicely played away. And they will go back and complete two. The ball has gone across the rope. Has it? And that's 4 runs. And well played by the right-handed Fawad Bacchus. He was famous for his sweep shot, Fawad Bacchus. We're seeing a little bit of glimpse there. 70 years old. Born in Campbellville, 31st of January 1954. And, you know, these guys, majority of them, born in the 50s, Lloyd, I think, was in the 40s. They lived through that analog period, now into digital era. Great human beings.
Well, it'll be interesting to look at Clive coming out, Sir Clive, coming out from the pavilion to see how he's able to stem the tide with his knees. But he may not even come out to bat. But Clive is 79.
And his presence tells a story
tells.
here today.
But what's amazing, Inderjeet, is the physical fitness of people like Derek Kalicharan, he's 65. Bacchus is 70.
Yes, and people like Sean and Matthew Kisun and Naim Chan can barely make it to their chair in the commentary box, complaining about climbing the stairs, Naim. Yeah, coming down the track there, Charles didn't get the way he wanted it. And you look at Fawad Bacchus, 19 test matches for the West Indies, 782 runs, a hess of 250. You remember that innings in India?
I remember we were all listening on the radio.
Yes, and Fawad Bacchus never really produced the kind of runs that the world was expecting of him, flamboyant. But he said to us this morning, said to myself and Sean, he played his cricket like the West Indians are playing today. He played for the crowd. He wanted 6s and 4s. Went on to play for the United States of America and Canada, and also play for one of the provinces in South Africa, Fawad Bacchus. I remember Clyde saying, when there were questions around the region, Bacchus is not scoring runs, let us drop him from the team. Sir Clyde Lloyd said at the time, if I ask Fawad Bacchus to go at forward short leg, he's going to turn something into a catch. And I remember on that 1983-84 tour to Australia, Bruce Laird and Kim Hughes, huge partnership against the West Indies. We needed to draw the test match to retain the Sir Frank Worrell trophy. He plays Fawad Bacchus at forward short leg, and Bacchus did remember when he talked to myself and Sean this morning, he picked up, made catches, Bruce Laird and Kim Hughes. The rest is history.
Well, as I was alluding, if you were to ask me what I like about Fawad Bacchus, I'll say his fielding ability. There was something that was absolutely unique about him. And that's, you have to see him in the covers. In 1977 when the Pakistanis were here, it's like all those years before that, I'm glued to Bacchus in the covers. He has this way of judging the body language of the batsman and can get into position very, very quickly.
Yes, and other than those 19 test matches, he played 111 first-class games, 5,944 runs, the highest of 250, average 35.17 with 837 50s. List A games 66 and runs. How much? 1,871 runs, a highest of 132. That's a 29 one-day international for the West Indies as well. And that's going to be a boundary here, Naeem.
But he was ultra aggressive, Indrajit. That's his personality.
Well, we're watching him out there facing up to this one.
At age 70.
And still looks good.
He's pretty active, I understand, in Florida. He's always around giving advice, talking with the younger players and so on.
Yes, sir. And looking there for the pattern sweeper. And Jonathan Fu is asking for a review of the decision there. He's not going to get a review at all. Yes, and look out there. Once again, we've seen Milton Paidan and Garfield Charles. Roger Harper at the top as well. And that's Bacchus' trademark shot for you. Beautifully played, and that's gone through deep backward square, Naeem. Fine boundary.
Fine boundaries. He's no doubt a gem to look at. He's very stylish when he plays cricket. And I remember so many great innings looking at him. I described him, but that was long after his test career at a match in Skeldon.
Yes, so just to remind you, this is a reunion cricket match in memory of those three outstanding sons of Guyana soil when they brought home the 1983 Jedis Grant Harrison Line 50 overs regional tournament and the Shell Shield 4-day tournament, winning the double for the first time under the captaincy of Sir Clive Lloyd. Charles Ramsden gets a good delivery. Looks technically correct there, Charles.
Yes, he plays for the first division, of course. Sean is telling me for Everest, so he's no rabbit with the bat.
Oh, that one spun across him and missed everything.
Sheikh Mohammed is also here. Indrajit, he's in the in this game here today. He made his debut in 1988 at Albion against the Windward Islands.
Yes, I remember that match, the little man against the Windwards. And that's going to fall in front. You can't get him that way. Had to put him down. Yes, and I remember Sheikh Mohammed. Good to see Sheikh at the ground as well. Hails from Enmore. And look at that. Ronnie Sarwan back in the pavilion after playing some fine shot. Devendra Bishu, one of the best leg spinners to come out of the West Indies. He's here as well. Sinarain Chattagoon. I reached him this morning. He said, I don't know why they brought this old man to the game to see those youngsters playing. Yes, and you can see there the camaraderie among the guys. Talking cricket, that's the discussion there. And once again, Fawad Bacchus playing the sweep shot. He played them on numerous occasions and was a professional at it.
And I like the words you chose a short while ago, that they talk cricket. That's a big one. It's gone over the ropes. And while that is happening, we're being informed that that may not have been Fawad Bacchus at the wicket.
Well, I think because that's a changing of the batting lineup, Naeem. But it's actually the Chinese man from Borbis. Not the Chinese man, Jonathan Fu. It's actually Imran Khan, the man from Chesney. Well, we're going to confirm that. Imran Khan from Quarantine Chesney. Thank you very much, John Ramsing.
But there were some characteristics of him that you also were looking like Fawad Bacchus.
His sweep shot was, was like Fawad Bacchus. That is what got us carried away. And in the commentary box, we are blessed with the presence of Tyron Etwaru and Mr. William White, both legends. They were part of that 1983 team. And certainly we're going to have a nice little discussion with William White and, of course, Tyron. William, it's a joy to have you, my brother, in Guyana. This 1983 legend team that brought home the double for Guyana in that year, the Jedis Grant Arsenal line and the 4-day championship. Tell us what you can remember about that era of West Indies cricket, 1983. William White.
Well, I remember in 1983, first thing came to my mind is that we lost the World Cup. West Indies were beaten by Angel, that year, and it was very disappointed. But Angel played. They played the best cricket. But apart from that, playing for Guyana that year, it was a gem. Because we had the legendary Sir Clive Lloyd, who was the captain. We had the great Roy Fredericks, and in that team, we had some tremendous players: Monty Lynch, Andrew Light, Fawad Bacchus, Tyron Etwaru, myself, Kamal Singh, Derek Kalcherman, the late Clyde Butts, and Leslie Lambert, Ray Joseph. I don't think I missed anybody, but it was.
And the late Andrew Light.
And the late Andrew Light.
And
how could I forget him? That's my cousin.
And the late
yeah. But we had a good time, We had a captain who was not demanding, but he would let you know that you can have and do anything you want. But tomorrow morning when the game starts, when I ask you to do what you have to do, I don't want to hear that excuse.
Yes, you guys responded.
Yeah, we did. We did respond to the captain.
Tell me something, William. There were some centuries scored in that 1983 4-day tournament by Guyanese.
Yeah. I remember, at least I remember, I think the first one was Andrew Light. And then you had Fawad Bacchus. And then we had Monty Lynch. And then Clive Lloyd was scored 100 against Barbados. I think it was Clive Lloyd and Andrew Light in the 4-day game. And Monty Lynch in the 1-day game.
In the 1-day game.
Yeah. And then Bacchus got 147, I think, against the Windward.
The Windward Islands.
And Andrew Light, he got 105 against, I think, the Windward or the Leeward. And he made 103 against Barbados. And I remember that innings good with Andrew Light. Because he was just third the ball into stretch. I mean, he scored 113 out of 150 something before he got caught.
Yes, and just switch the mic a little over.
And now okay.
Yes, and we'll get back to you. Tyron, it's a joy to be on FL Sports. Borbisian by birth. You played in that 1983 tournament, both in the 1-day and the 4-day game. Tell us something about Roy Fredericks when he made 103 against Trinidad and Tobago at Albion and then returned to Border to score 217.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, Fredo was not very happy when he got in the team because of my failure.
What was that failure?
Well, I started off the tournament well. In the windwards, I got a 30-yard and a 40-yard. And after that, things just went south. And so when we went to Guyana, Fredo was still batting well, and then he played at Albion. Got 100, and then he got a double in Jamaica. And listen, it was a joy watching him. The guy was awesome, even at that age. And Whitey summed it up about the leadership on that team, not just Clive, but Fredo. Fredo was more demonstrative in terms of, hey, this is what you guys got to do. Clive wouldn't tell you. Clive would play the game, and you look at him and you follow his example. But Fredo would let you know. So we had that balance of leadership where someone will call you out and the other one will just quietly remind you of what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, so great words to Fredo. Maybe we'll switch and go back to William White a little. There was one guy in that tournament who picked up 7 for 29 at Albion against Trinidad and Tobago. Leslin Lambert. When one thought that Leslin would have gone on, and become a world beater, something must have gone wrong with him. How good was Leslin as a fast bowler?
He was very good. He was quick, and he bowled a very, very good line. He was our strike bowler. He's always among the wickets. I think he got about 20 wickets in that series. Yeah, the most I think in that series. And he troubled every single batsman, even the Greenwich and Haynes. He troubled them. But unfortunately, he got injured. And
I think it was a knee
his
injury.
knee. He got a knee injury. And as a fast bowler, once you get that knee injury, it's harder to come back if you're a fast bowler than a batsman.
Yes, Clyde Butts, actually, the late Clyde Butts got the most wickets in that tournament, 25. 3-5 wicket haul. How good was Clyde as an off spinner?
Well, I don't have to tell you that. His record alone will tell you that. I don't have to tell you that. His record showed that 400 and something wickets or whatever he get. He was amazing. Once he played a series, he has to get at least 2 or 3 5 wickets haul easily. He was an outstanding bowler. Outstanding person, and I really missed him. When I heard his passing, it really shocked me. You know what I mean?
Yes, that was very chilling. We were colleagues in the commentary box for years. We did regional cricket, we did CPL together, and the way that he got his death, it was actually absolutely shocking.
Because in fact, we were very close. So once we played in England, we actually played for 2 teams just at the side of each other. So every weekend we would meet up and hang out and and those things.
Yes, Tyron, maybe we come back to you a little. Tell us about your fellow Burbesian, Derek Calichuran, who actually we saw bowl 2 or 3 overs here out in the middle. He had a good tournament as well. In one of those games, he scored a half century and picked up 6 for 62 as a leg spinner. Were you impressed with him?
Are you kidding me, man? I grew up with the guy. I was a little disappointed with him today, though. He bowled the president down twice with no balls, man. Come on. You guys keep your foot there. Me and Derek, we grew up
What
together.
was that match fixing? Bowling at the president? Bowling deliberate no balls?
No comment. I plead the fifth. Like I said, right? We grew up together as little boys, 5-6-year-olds playing at Port Morant, and we started at Port Morant together. We played for Burberry's together. We played for Guyana together. Derek was how should I put this? He wasn't a big trainer, but he got this mind, willpower, man. He's confident guy. Very confident, and he worked hard at his game. And bowling especially. I remember one game, I think in the finals of this same championship against Jamaica.
Yeah, yes.
He hurt himself. He couldn't bowl, right? And when he went to the trainer, who was it, Cromarty, a guy who used to be a fitness guy, and the guy told him to start doing push-ups. If you go and feel Derek hands, no, muscles are all, Yeah. So listen, very impressed. Derek is a hard worker. He worked hard at his game. And he was a big part of that team too, The wickets, he didn't get as much, but he stood up and batted a couple of times when we were in trouble.
Yes. tell us a little bit more. The Etwaros, the name rings a bell because quite a few of you guys, Romain, your elder brother, the younger one, Reginald.
Yeah.
There was another Etwaro.
Yeah. Well, Reggie is actually my fourth brother. I'm the last.
Yeah.
I have another brother, Randolph, who played cricket under 19 for Guyana, years ago. But he went on to study and become a pastor. So his Sundays were taken up, right? yeah. So, and we got our, I guess you would say, our cricketing abilities. Rohan Kanai is my uncle. So, that's where we were, cricket was embedded in us.
And once you come from Borbies, you got to be a cricketer,
well,
right?
There's nothing else to do, man. Just play cricket or drink rum, right?
We'll talk to William a little bit more. William, you played in that tournament. You were part of that team. That was the era. West Indies cricket was at its strongest going into the 80s, early 90s, even the 70s. Some of your fiercest competitors in the region. Let's talk fast bowling. You played against Barbados. You played against Jamaica. I think you also played against the Combined Islands.
Yeah.
Yes. Very strong team when they were combined. Then they split to leewards and the windwards. Tell us something about some of those fast bowlers that you faced in that era.
In that era, most teams, had good fast bowling. We come to the Leeward Islands. You had Andy Roberts, and who else was there? Norbert Phillip. Then we go to Barbados. We had Ghana. We had Marshall. We had, a couple more of them. Jamaica. We had Patterson. We had Holding. We had Walsh. And those were, Trinidad really had, too much fast bowlers at that time. The spinners really actually used to, most of the time to Trinidad. But those days you had to be on your P's and Q's because they were quick. You know what I mean? We had no helmets, and you had, your eyesight had to be perfect to be able to pick up that short balls and everything. But as I said, the fellas were equipped to that. There's no doubt about it. Those guys, like Andrew Light, the opening batsman, who was we call him monster, but he was a real monster because he was never afraid of anything.
That Rasta, I agree with you.
He was never afraid of anything. I always remember, because he played with me at DCC, and I was a captain. And before I actually spin any toss, he's already padded up. Whether the wicket is wet or the wicket is dry, he said, "Skip, we're going to bat first." So his intentions was just batting, and he was a tremendous player. There's no doubt about it. Luckily, things happen, but he should have probably gone on to play,
Yes,
the highest level, but things happen, So
yes, I once saw that great opening batter, the Rasta Andrew Light, smacked 100 before lunch against Barbados.
Yeah.
That was a terrific knock. Now, in the first game that Guyana played in 1983 4-day game was against the Windward Islands. We were bundled out for 162 in the first innings.
Yeah.
Winston Davis picking up six
or
wickets.
something like that.
How good was Winston Davis?
Yeah, he was good. He was a guy that he was quick, and he moved the ball, swing the ball in and out. But he was very, very good. He bowled at a sharpish pace, good line, good length. So you had to be on your game. I've seen for the years after, in the 80s and 90s, we still, West Indies still had these tremendous fast bowlers. But suddenly, I don't know what happens. In fact, I think what happens is that the pitches in the West Indies got a lot of slow. Has gotten a lot of slow. Because if you follow the competition, all the spinners are getting, the most wickets. Unless you're actually quick, you go in like young Joseph here. Once you have that pace, you're going to get a wicket. So people, some batsmen doesn't like pace anyhow. Pace is pace. You know what I mean? But the spinners, used to get most of the wickets. Because the wickets has gotten flatter. I think it's spinning early. It's not batting friendly. And to me, some of the players' technique are not that good enough, to handle the spin. It's sad to see because I've been following, especially Guyana cricket. I've watched them over the years, for the last couple of years, and I haven't seen one batsman using the feet to get to the spinners.
And that's an art of.
That is an art of playing spin ball. We had a lot of players who spin. Tyrone, Andrew Light, you know,
Alvin Calichoran.
Alvin Calitin, young Jackman, Carl Hooper, even Mark Harper. These guys could have played spin bowling, forward backers. I mean, easily. Once you throw that ball off for the spin, they're coming to you, so you have to change. You have to keep changing. The bowlers have to keep changing their line because the guys were coming at them to score runs.
Yes, I hear that. Tyrone, and that's surprising. William is making the point that many of our batters just can't play spin the proper way because of the use of the feet. Are you surprised? We come from Guyana, a place where we dance in the rum shop, the street corner, the wedding house, and we don't have dancing feet out in the middle?
Yeah, I'm not surprised. The game has changed tremendously. Like when we grew up, Whitey would tell you that if you hit a ball in the air, it's a bad shot. But this day and age, everybody's trying to hit a six, So nowadays it's like just try to hit the ball. In our day, you get to the pitch of the ball and stroke it, and as long as you hit it in the middle, no matter what the ground, how big is the grass, it'll go for four, But this day and age, it's all about scoring runs. It's not about technique anymore. So I'm not really surprised.
I know I have three colleagues with me, Naim Chan, Pastor Kisoon, and Sean Devers. You would like to join in the conversation, talk a little to William. You could come and share the mic. This is the final over coming up?
Oh, okay.
All right, the final over coming up here.
Yeah.
And
One last thing.
yes, Tyrone?
I just want to make a comment about Winston Davis, as you mentioned. I've known this guy since 1978. We were on the West Indies youth team together. And he's a tremendous cricketer. The guy is like an Andy Roberts type of bowler. He would bowl 6 different deliveries in one over.
Wow.
Yeah, just like Andy did. There's a slower bumper, there's a faster bumper. They're the ones who started it. And Winston Davis in that game, very first game where he took that 6 wickets, everybody after that innings just opened their eyes and like, okay guys, we gotta be careful. And Baki was the one in the second innings who really took hold of it. I kind of stood up with him for a little bit, and but he carried on that innings and led us to a big score. I just want to mention that about Winston Davis, tremendous cricketer. It's very unfortunate that he got hurt, and
I think he suffered a spinal damage.
Yes. And we just wish him well and hope all goes well for him.
Thank you so much, Tyrone Etwaru. Thank you, William White, for sharing the mic with us here today. It was a joy speaking to both of you guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
And continue to enjoy Guyana.
Yes, we will.
Yes. Well, yes. No, I understand you guys went on that trip crossing the Essequibo River. How was the bucking Broncos you went across?
Hey, listen, these guys were shivering, man. But I'm an adventurous guy. I came back in the small boat. There's 4 of us.
Yeah, William, were you trembling?
No. In fact, we had a good driver in our captain Clive Lloyd, who was actually driving the ferry. Yeah.
Well, that's good to hear. Thank you, guys. Yes, with me, John Ramsing. John, we were just ensure that we get the score. I understand this is the final over. Chatting away with William White and Tyrone Etwaru. 127. How many deliveries to go? 2 balls to go. Take it away, John.
Well, Lindsay, thank you. It's a pleasure, to be honest. I just wanted to sit near these legends a few moments ago because being in their company has done so much for me over the years. Even you guys, because you guys are the legends, paving the way as well, despite not on the field, being in the comebacks.
Yes, John. So 1 delivery remaining here. It's 128. So we see the final delivery, and it's Stephen Jacobs. That's a big swing. Has it gotten enough to clear? It has gotten, and that's a maximum. What a fine way to end the innings with a maximum 134, the final score after the first innings.
And it's interesting we're talking about legends in the JIT because look at who end the innings with bat. Young Adrian Hetmeyer, the 14-year-old sensation from Berbice, because that is what we transition into, from the legends to the next generation of great things to come. And look, former player as well, now coach Shahid Mohammed, walking off with young Hetmeyer. And for these youngsters coming up, it will do so much for them being in this game.
Yes, I totally agree with that, John. And this is the whole idea of it. The legends rubbing shoulders with the youngsters, and you're right to point it out. Young Adrian Hetmeyer, no doubt preparing for that West Indies under 15 championship coming up not long from now. What a pleasure for the youngster, rubbing shoulders with the greats of the game and enjoying the moment. 134, John, and we shall certainly see what's going to happen when we see the reply.
I think the reply not necessarily going to be important in terms of if they get the runs in the cheat, but it's the occasion that we're marking. This reunion of 1983 Ghana team, very important, go to recognize our legends and so on, and know that the third person have died that was part of that 1983 team. It's fitting that they come together as a unit once again to reminisce, and you can see the joy on their faces. I was invited for breakfast a few days ago with them, and they were so happy to be in each other's company. I felt I was intruding, but then they started to pick my brain on what's happening locally. And it became what was 10 minutes, just a little hello, hi, goodbye, became 2 hours and 2.5 hours.
That's when you're in good company, John Ramsing. And yes, we talked to them this morning there. It was very difficult for us to pick out some of them. So Pastor Matthew Kisoon and Sean Devers went along. We reached the guys and we spoke to them. They were all smiles. Actually, when I reached the Fawad Bacchus, I recognized his face. And I said, are you Fawad Bacchus? And Tyrone was sitting next to him. He said, no. I am Romain Etwaru. I am Tyrone's brother. I was like, and then he looked at me, he said, don't bother. I am indeed Fawad Bacchus. And he get up, there was a little bit of a hug. Yes, and we have two of our legends joining us here on FL Sports. And let me introduce the taller one first. And that's Derek Calichoran. It was a beauty to see Derek bowl his leg spinners out in the middle. And the next one for sure, who played in the one-day tournament, bowled his heart out against Jamaica in the final, Kamal Singh. Great to have you guys. John Ramsing.
Yes, thank you, Indrajit. And it's a round table discussion because we're all here talking cricket. And it's usually nice when we can actually catch up, reminisce and so on. And what I like, now that Indrajit has made the introduction as well, for us to talk cricket in the open air. We're talking here at Everest. Uncle Derek, you have done many of your overs right here at Everest. But this game, you guys are back for a reunion. But it's also memorial for three of your teammates. The last being Clyde Butts. So you shared many interesting times. You played many overs, many games, not only here at Everest, but also for Guyana. Maybe you can talk a little bit about your time, first of all, coming back here at Everest.
First of all, I want to thank you, John, and the commentary team for having us here. Butchie and I go back a long way. We started, when I was already playing for Guyana, he got started, and we became members of the Everest Cricket Club, like you said, and we put a lot of overs down in this pitch here. Between us, I think we practically every innings or every other innings, we will get all 10 wickets. We also share a tour to Zimbabwe with the West Indies B team. So again, we were teammates, we were friends, and we shared a lot. We shared a lot of good times. As a matter of fact, I can't think of any bad times. Butch and I went back a long time, and I'm privileged, and I was happy to be a friend to Butchie, and him being a friend to me as well.
Yeah. So just last December he passed and so on, but if you look at this photo now, in fact you shared this photo with me, Uncle Derek. Look at that. When you see this photo, what do you remember first of all? What comes to your mind? What comes to your heart? Then I'll ask the same thing of Kamal.
I can't describe it. The friendship that we built together. We had a little get together, a team meeting. And Sir Clive had mentioned you guys got to be close to each other. Being that close, you perform better. You get better performances. And that was one of the main things with this team. We weren't having no tearaway fast bowlers like the other teams, but we played together and we produced the results.
Yeah, go back to your I'm not sure if this is the shell shoe team or the one day. That's both. I remember when I first saw Butchie at Borda, we weren't sure because I've never heard of Butsy before. He actually got into the Guyana team, so we weren't sure who Butsy was until actually at the practice we were asking, and that's a different story how he got into the Guyana team. But when he did get there, he never looked back, and he knew, we all knew that he belonged there.
One of the persons that definitely know a lot about Clyde Butts is our very close friend and colleague Sean Devers. Sean, you'd have emulated a lot of what Clyde Butts have done on off spinner yourself. Where did that all start?
Well, it started on the 19 trials. I learned a lot by watching Clyde Butts. The first time I ever spoke to Clyde Butts was when I got 7 wickets in the 1987 on the 19 trials. And I put myself in a position for him to see me. And the first thing he told me, young Devers, you gotta set your field. And I was so disappointed. And when I looked back, later on, when we were good and we were doing commentary together, I said, Mr. Butts, when you went to India, you told Desmond Haynes at short leg to ask Viv Richards to set your field. You got to learn to set your field.
Right. Before you take the mic again, Mike Coney, man, that is the introduction Clyde Butts and Inderjeet would have to each other because they're both from Mike Coney, and that's how they greet each other. Your fellow Mike Coney, man.
Yes,
no longer
John.
with us, but you've learned a lot from being with your Mike Coney, man.
Absolutely. So learned a lot. Actually, he's from Perseverance. I am from Myconey Branch Road. And from the time the link began, between myself and Clyde Butts, there was that brotherly relationship. I learned to respect every member of the team because that is what he brought. And listen, he never ever molested somebody in the commentary box. We look up to him as a gentleman. He played the game at the highest level, and that is one thing I will always remember. He will call you aside and say, hey, you can do this, you can do that better.
I think he had some moments with Naim Chan.
Yes, where the mics normally fall off from Naeem's hand or Clyde's hand, but they're still brothers. I think it was Naeem who actually introduced Clyde Butts to do cricket commentaries. Sean, you want to say something?
Well, actually, Naeem brought me to do the Jamaica-Guyana match at Blairmont. And he gave me a start in my cricket career. And the first person, I was so nervous. I'd already played for Guyana on the 19 level, but that was the first time I've ever spoken on a mic. And Clyde Butts was there as the analyst. And he said, if you don't go, no one will know you. If you go and do bad, still no one will know you. So best you go and try. It's better to try and fail than fail to try. And those words always left with me.
Yeah, one of the things we know about our dear brother is that he's always willing to share some knowledge. And quite fittingly, on this mid-innings show that we've put together here, we have a clip to show you some of what we captured over the years with our dear brother, Clyde Butts. Let's have a look. Leon Johnson, the man of the moment, making some adjustments to the to the field once again. He's really a captain. He shows that leadership ability. He has the mannerisms. He's going under the bat now, Clyde Butts.
Should Guyana ask him to stay on? I think when you've got a captain that can lead your side like this, he helps the youngsters as well. Shouldn't that be one of the issues that you're going to ask him to stay on? That's out. That's gone. Guyana has won. That was a short delivery. It was slide on. He was looking to swing the leg. Went straight to the field. And he's gone. And you can see.
So that was Clyde Butts there. What was common in all of those clips? Knowledge sharing. And okay, Eric, you can definitely testify to that.
Absolutely. Every time he would be willing to give you an advice, even sometimes, what you really talk about, man? Say, no, you do this. So, but he's always there. I remember very quickly when I met my wife, he was giving me advice at the same time. But when he met my wife, he said, listen, you see this Indian boy? He's a wicked boy. But anyway, he said, yes, he said, I wish you guys all the best and good luck. But, you know, we will forever miss Clyde Butts. He was one of ours, and we will cherish his memory and whatever he's done for cricket in Guyana and in extension West Indies. Thank you guys very much for having me.
Kamal, I'm sure you want to drop in some words as well.
No, I have so many stories to talk about, Patsy, from the Watercress days and so many stories. But he was a true gentleman, an honest guy. You never heard a harsh word from him. He was a good man. That's all I can say, a good man. All right?
Well, it's a memorial game, not only for our brother Clyde Butts, also for Roy Fredericks, and also for Andrew Light Sr. But those guys, you know, all contributed in some way. We all spoken about it previously, but you guys are here for this reunion. Tell us about this feeling coming back here after so many years together as a unit.
It's hard to describe. When we first thought about this this whole reunion thing, we started before COVID, and obviously couldn't happen because of COVID. But when we have not actually understand the significance until we actually got here. And when we did get here and see everybody, even coming to this ground, I was nervous this morning. I'm not kidding you. I was nervous to come to this ground today. I don't know why. Because I've spent a lot of time here and seeing everybody and being able to go there again and bowling over too. I enjoy my stay here. I loved every bit of it and wish it happened more often. But 40 years is good, and I'm sure I speak for everyone who was here. They enjoyed it. And very quickly, on Fredo and Andrew Light, those two, Andrew Light was my buddy since under 19 days, so we shared a lot. Fredo, when he was a player and a manager, along with Clive, they made it feel very, very comfortable. That's why we were able to perform the way we perform. There was no pressure. They never criticize you, or they never what's the word, threaten you that you're gonna get dropped, you're gonna be this, you don't do this. No, they made you feel comfortable whether you did good or bad, and that's why the guys went out and do well. And at the end of the day, today is a celebration, and we're enjoying it.
How was that executive trip yesterday, Uncle Kamal?
Except for the choppy waters and that boat, it was not too bad. It was very good. You know, we had a good time.
So overall, it's been a good reunion.
Yes, it is. Yeah. I don't have words to describe it, but it's been really great coming back, and I cherish those talks we had with Sir Clive at the hotel. Like, getting it together, you know, it's like gold. You got to hold on to those moments. You know?
And then what about the reception you guys are getting at the ground at the moment? Because I'm noticing almost every moment persons are either getting autographs or photographs.
Yeah, we did. But as soon as the president got into the ground, he turned to Norman McLean, says, what this guy is doing tomorrow? He said, I don't know. He said, let him come to my party tomorrow. So, yeah, so he organized something for tomorrow already. So some of the guys were leaving.
Right.
So they said they're staying back.
Excellent.
So it was great.
All right, Sean, perhaps like to say something again.
Yeah, Derek, what was it like bowling to the Guyana head of state?
Again, I was nervous. And I don't know why. I know it was fun. You go out there and have fun, and it's a good thing to go and enjoy whether it's the president of the country, which is a pleasure
Have
actually.
you ever bowled to a president of a country before?
No, not really. I have not. The first time.
And how were you surprised when Roy Fredericks, who was a sitting minister at that time, made those runs?
You know what, Fredo, knowing who Fredo was, he was a determined guy, and he wanted to prove a point, whether it's to us, and he did prove a point to us that he's still good. I'm Roy Fredericks, and I can still do it at whatever level he's given, and he made us proud. Actually, he proved something that if he can do that 40, a 20 or a 35-year, 25-year-old can do it too.
And this is a question for both of you. Why did you come and play for Everest?
I was, to be honest with you, and I mean I can say it, I was not given enough opportunity in Berbice, more so at Port Moran. But when I started playing for GCC after the under 19 days, a couple of guys from Everest came, and we talked about a couple of things, and I choose that. It was all, some of it was personal, but I don't let personal things get into the cricket. But I choose Everest. I feel comfortable with Everest, and these guys, they made me part of the family. There are some people that I would like to thank here at Everest. Tony Chavere. I don't know if some of you guys might know him, but Tony Chavere is my buddy. Juman Yasin, Mr. Prasad, David Prasad, and a few other guys. But in general, everybody made me feel comfortable, and I enjoy playing at this ground.
And Kamal, you played at Albion. How did you end up coming to play for Everest?
I had this friend named Sushev Narayan. He was a farmer guy.
Yeah, he was the first player from Albion to play Test cricket.
But before he started, I think with Everest, we played for Cosmos. And I was looking for a job. He said, let's go to Georgetown, you might get a job, So he ended up, and I came here with my gears, and the first game I made 100 in the Case Cup, and I stayed for a month. I said, man, if I'm going to play big cricket, let me go back to my club where I really think I could make it. So I went back to Albion and never played back in Georgetown, except for the trial games and then Berbice Demerara. And I said I'm going to do it at Albion, and I did it. So that was that.
All right. Well, thank you guys for dropping in, not only the comebacks, but also coming for the reunion. I don't know, Derek, before you go, you brought a gift, didn't you?
I didn't sign it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you did?
I did?
Yeah.
No, where's my signature?
I guess that's a senior moment you're forgetting.
I gotta sign it big so you can see.
So the president of Guyana is actually in the attack. He started with a new ball. And some runs being scored off of him. Matthew Nandu and Sinai Chadagun starting. Thank you so very much. Enjoy the rest of the tour, guys. As we continue coverage today, we head upstairs to Matthew Kisoon and Sean Devers. This is over number 3 in progress.
Take that chair, Sean. Take that one. Why not use it? Sean, you take the next one.
Thank you, John Ramsing. Right, so in the reply now, Matthew Nandu is out there. And President Irfan Ali is having his second over from the Atlantic Ocean end. And he hasn't bowled that badly at all, Sean. He started pretty good. I think the young Guyana player was very watchful to him. And his over comes to an end. The president has shown good all-round ability so far.
And he spent a lot of time on the field batting, and now he's bowling. And he's actually leading from the front. And I remember him making 100 against the police officers at the National Park tarmac in tape ball cricket in a partnership with Ram Singh, the Minister of Culture, Youth and Sport. I think he made about 60 something. So they're both not only cricket enthusiasts, but they're also reasonably good cricket players, especially Minister of Sports.
Right. Very exuberant.
A lovely crowd there. Lots of people coming in to support this match.
And Barnwell
and it's a long time I've not seen those things there. Cars on the ground. I see that in Skeldon and also Essequibo. Yes, the cars there, they're on the ground. I've only seen that in Hampton Court where the players went yesterday and at Skeldon or Upper Quarantine. Those kind of grounds. You never see this in Georgetown. This is the first time I've ever seen this here. And that's wonderful.
Indeed, you look on the seawall, you see the vehicles parked there as well. Everest, vastly improved facility here. I think looking for maybe some international status to get cricket back at the highest level here, which would be very good. Some work done on the ground, right to wrong. Speaker of the House is in charge here, and the influence is important. In the meantime, Sooner Ryan Chattergoon is out there with Matthew Nandu. You know Chattergoon and what he would have done over the years for Guyana and playing for the West Indies as well.
The last time when Guyana won our regional one-day title, Chattergoon scored 100 in the final. Sarwan had scored 200s in Guyana and he scored one in Barbados. That time the tournament was played in both countries. Sarwan had scored 300s, but in the final it was Chattergoon who scored 100.
And a nice shot lofting that over the mid-wicket area. He picks up a boundary. But I thought at one time Chattergoon probably was slated to become the West Indies captain at some point in time.
Chattergoon?
Sooner Ryan Chattergoon. I think it was at a time when they had some problems in West Indies cricket and his name was being called, he was being considered. I think the man who would have, who I think I had a chat with on that, and I want to make sure I'm talking the truth, was the late Clyde Butts, who said his name was up for consideration.
Okay.
Sooner Ryan Chattergoon. I think they had a strike then when you had the tour here and the industrial action and the players had gone on strike. I think it had to do with Bangladesh then when they toured here. But a good cricketer, a good opening batsman, Chattergoon. Good shots all around the ground, but very strong through the offside, through backward point area and square cover. Very good cricketer, timed the ball well. He says he still plays, he does some coaching in Berbice, if I'm correct, Sean?
Yes, and he still plays a couple of matches.
Correct.
Lovely conditions here at Everest. Nice scenery. That's the seawall you're seeing there. And just over the seawall, there's the Atlantic Ocean. And this is like 100 meters away from the Atlantic Ocean, behind the black side screen there. And we see Rayon Dane King, one of the leading fast bowlers in these days. He could barely run up, so he's cutting his run. And he's bowling military medium pace.
Oh, yes.
But it's all fun. This contest is not for who wins and who loses. It's for the camaraderie and the unification of the people coming together, and the celebration of this historic occasion where Guyana won the first time they won the double. The first class Shell Shield, and they won to get its Grant Harrison line.
I'm bringing quality players of the past to interact with our young players now who need that. hooked around towards the backward square area. Top edge, he gets a boundary. But that's what you want. The quality mixing with a young generation now that seemingly needs to be disciplined enough. Cricket has changed, yes. T20 cricket now is burst on the
we've got a
scene.
lot of people looking at that's the Butts family there. His wife and his son is actually playing this match, Collis.
Yeah, good cricket with
And
Collis.
last night at the dinner, well, on Friday night at the dinner, the son of Andrew Light collected the cap on behalf of his father, and we spoke about Butts, and we also spoke about the fallen comrades who are now dead, and Roy Fredericks and Andrew Light are all gone to the great beyond. And Roy Fredericks we all know about Roy Fredericks' ability, but Andrew Light, he never played a test match, and that time they were Greenwich, Haynes, and Fredericks was joined by Greenwich, and then came Haynes when Frederick retired.
That was a lovely shot from Chattergoon. Short, pulled backward of square for 4.
This is the second short ball pulled away for 4.
Look at the crowd again.
Yeah.
So you see
And that's-
Kamal Singh there.
And Derek Ali Turan and his wife.
But Sean, the reunion is so important. It's something that you'd want to think can continue in the future, because a lot of our youngsters really don't know too much about these legends, players of the past who would have done very well for West Indies cricket, for Guyana's cricket, of course,
Lovely
down
square
through the
cut
years.
now from Chattergoon, back with a point for 4. So
But
3 boundaries in this over, and there is Ramesh Sunesh, the trophy stall owner. He sponsors a lot of tournaments with his trophy stall brand, and they're all there sitting and watching. A great day for cricket,
And that's
and a
the
great day for reunion.
And that's the atmosphere you want.
Yeah.
That's what you want. It's history, it's rich history, and you see them coming together now. Anil Bihari, it looks like, who's going to have a bowl. He's been a main man in cricket in Guyana, has featured a lot, very supportive of
Actually
the game.
played for Berbice in a one-day senior inter-county game. I played in that game.
Yes, well,
Yeah.
look at that.
Yeah. That's when he made his debut at
cool.
Blairbunt.
A quick little rehash of Chattergoon's test career, just 4 test matches, 127 runs. His highest score of 46. Didn't get 100 nor a 50 in that, but just 4 test matches and 18 one-day internationals. 370 runs with a high score of 54, not out. And you look at his strike rate, reasonably enough, 60.2 in 50 over cricket. 2 half centuries on his belt. But Anil Bihari, fit, always busy like in the game, loves the game of cricket. Let's watch him a little. Left hand orthodox. And they'll get a single here played down through the mid-wicket area.
That's Shamar Joseph fielding that ball. The latest fast bowling sensation in the West Indies. Anthony Adams. Oh, that's Anthony Adams.
Chattergoon is on strike. But 18 ODIs under his belt. Not a long career at all for him, but a good player from Berbice. Lost his brother, his younger brother, recently in motor vehicle accident. I think they were riding a motorcycle. That's a big shot. Oh, you think he stepped over the boundary, they took the catch and then went over the rope. They call him what? Is it cuckoo? Here is a look back at that. Full toss, lofted it in the air, down to long on. Cuckoo was there, took the catch, and over the rope. 6. But the atmosphere is so beautiful here at Everest. Good crowd on hand. You look at the vehicles all outside the ground. People coming to support the team, the heroics of the 1983 Guyana side, led by Clive Lloyd, who's Sir Clive Lloyd now, that won the double. And with the loss of 3 of the good players who've gone to the great beyond, as we would have said. And we had intense discussions on them and their performances over the years playing for Guyana. What you need now, Sean, is your young players playing now to be consistent, good, and show good quality in class, just like these players. But it will always take hard work. They've got to work hard. They've got to practice. They've got to be disciplined. They've got to do the basics that the Derek Ali Chirans did, that the Komal Singhs did, that the Clive Lloyds did. You know, and when you look at these players, they were good enough in those days to really put Guyana on the map and win that double.
Yes, well, we've just seen the demise of Chattagoon, the left-hander of the bowling of Bihari Lal. So now we've got Roger Harper, who played 25 tests for the West Indies, off spinning all round, the highest score of 74. He's played 105 one-day matches, and is bowling 25 tests. He's got 46 wickets, but he's got 100 wickets in his 105 one-day internationals. And for Guyana, he was at one time the West Indies vice-captain.
Correct. And still very active in cricket.
Yeah,
With Demerara Cricket Club, he's the president.
Yeah.
For the DCC club, one of the
and
leading
vice
clubs.
presidents of the GCA.
And one of the leading clubs in Georgetown cricket, a very competitive
he was
club.
also a former West Indies selector.
Right.
So we see now the promotion there on the ICC Men's T20, West Indies and USA.
I was actually at Movie Tongue when they had the opening. I didn't go for the opening, but I ended up enjoying a double. I went for some fun, but I actually saw the opening of the ICC World Cup there at Movie Tongue not too long back.
So Leon Johnson there, Guyana's most successful captain with 6 titles in first-class cricket, but none in one-day cricket. No one has been able to break the jinx. Since 2005, we've not won a one-day title. And we're the defending champions in this. This is Roger Harper hitting it down the ground, and one bounce into the boundary for 4. So Andrew Harper, bringing up the 50 for the team. And that's Kush there.
Yeah, Lennox Kush is bowling.
Yeah. My former Maltino
Yes.
teammate.
Wow.
That was lovely. Look at that flick shot. He walked into it and then flicked it away.
And my bewilderment is why these players have stopped playing club cricket so early. and they would have been beneficial to the young players coming up, even if you retire from first-class cricket. Well, Leon Johnson says even though he's retired, he still wants to play club cricket. He wants to play one days. He wants to play second division, but there's a rule in Georgetown, which Sean Masai says he will look at, is that when you play for the Guyana team, you're debarred from the second division. Another nice shot there, and that's 6.
Yeah, so far Roger Harper's looked good as if he's still playing for the West Indies, to be honest with you. But you talk about playing cricket at a certain age, and Clyde Butts would have played for Guyana in his 60s.
Yeah.
Correct. And he was very much involved in administration of Guyana's cricket as well. They looked up to him a lot. He would have mentored a number of young players who would have come on. Some would have joined Guyana's club to play as well under his leadership and guidance and nursing. People like Krishna Arjun, I think Fududdin played a little for Guyana as well. They said Fududdin is his son, Azad. We had a little talk this morning. Azad, very nice guy. And Clyde certainly would have mentored a number of players who would have gone on to play for Guyana, and even some would have gone on to play for the West Indies.
Yes, and the over from Kush is coming to an end at the end of it. It's 58 off of 7 overs. So this is a good reply by the challengers. But Roger Harper has been one of the champions. He played in that 1983 team, and also himself won the double in 1993. When they
Correct.
won both the first class and the one-day series. But as Clive Lloyd said at the dinner, there could never be a second first.
So Bishu, 36 test matches. You look at his bowling stats, 117 wickets, one of the very successful leg spinners in West Indies cricket, the best of 8 for 49. Has been good. He's played 42 ODIs as well. Very
And at
good
one
cricketer.
time, just after the World Cup, he was #1 as the emerging player of the year.
I remember when he had picked up Sachin Tendulkar's
Yeah.
wicket. That was what that was a one-day T20 game, I think.
In the Champions
That's
League
right.
in South Africa.
And that was a
at
big thing.
Durban.
That was a big thing.
Yeah.
It's just like Shamar Joseph now, a burst in his test career, first 2 test matches.
And he is one of only 4 Guyana bowlers with 100 test wickets.
Yes. Excellent cricketer and a very fit cricketer. Himself and Versami Pamal, 2 of the fittest cricketers he could have
So
found around for
he's
Guyana.
got-
He's picked up a
It's
wicket.
got him stumped.
And that's Bishu for you. That's his class, that's his ability. We had a little chat today, our own little private discussion, but he's a very nice young man, Devendra Bishu.
So Machu Nandu playing a shot there that he need not to play. This is a friendly match, a fet match, a celebratory match, and he should have taken the opportunity to bat as long as the president did, and Charles Ramson. And he's going to go now to Antigua to possibly open the batting for Guyana in the 5th round of the regional 4-day tournament.
Yes, one of the young players that is being watched at very carefully. Matthew Nandu, son of Arjun Nandu, would have played for Guyana.
And he would opening with Tej Chandrapal, son of Shivnarayan Chandrapal.
Again, when you look at Bishu's stats and picking up 17 test wickets, as you said, Sean, one of the more successful leg spinners of in recent times in West Indies cricket. He's someone to always remember.
I think he's the only leg spinner to take 100 or more test wickets.
And he did
For the West Indies.
it in 36 test matches. His strike rate has been good as
And
well.
apart from him, the other Guyanese with 100 wickets or more is Colin Croft, Lance Gibbs, the great Lance Gibbs, who I think Clyde Butts is only second to as an off spinner in Guyana, and also the other one is Carl Hooper.
Outside the leg stump, swept fine for a boundary. Bishu just train on the leg stump of the new bat. Is that Barrington? Looks like Shemroy Barrington, who would have opened the batting for Guyana a number of years back as well. And another Maltino's guy.
Yeah, and still opens the batting in first division cricket.
That's right. I give him out yesterday, LBW. Umpiring at Maltino's, he was out.
And he is one who's come back to give back to the young players. He's a businessman now. And this is a good delivery from Bishu.
Trying to nurse the players along the way from Maltino still, so his presence is important. Barrington in cricket. And you said earlier, Sean, you really need
The former players,
that's right.
the recently retired first class players, play intercounty, to come back and play with the clubs. Because when you look at club cricket now, it's just a bunch of little children playing together. And the standard is very low.
Correct, and I listened to that little interview there I was in it, but I didn't ask a question. But when John was talking with Komal and Derek Kalicharan when they joined Everest. That was very important at that time because you needed to keep playing cricket, keep yourself active in the game because of course you were a good cricketer. You didn't need to be idle and not given opportunities if you were playing for a club in your hometown.
Nice looking shot again by Roger Harper out towards cover. Scush continues. So Harper looking like he's 16 years old. He actually made his debut for Guyana at 17
Yes.
as a Queen's College student.
Yes. Always fit, Roger, always busy, involved, administration, giving advice. And when you talk earlier about some of the older players coming back, not just to play, but to be involved in administrative ability for the cricket in Guyana on the whole, that's what you need.
And his brother Mark actually played for Guyana under 19 at 13 years old. He was an off spinner. And then after he progressed, he developed into a batter.
And a hard hitting number 3, I think,
They
or number
used to
4
call
batter.
him the right-handed Clive Lloyd at DCC.
You didn't want to be feeling too close when he's striking the ball that hard.
So a lot of distinguished guests there. That's Rohan Sarju.
Bishu also played 70-20 internationals and picked up 7 wickets, a best of 4 for 17, Devendra Bishu.
And Kush is the only bowler to have 2 hat-tricks in the 2020 Caribbean cricket. He got one in the West Indies T20 and he got one, I think, in the Stanford T20.
Roger Harper is back on strike. Look at that. Little delicate little steer down towards short third man. They didn't go for the run. But Roger looks just as good as when he played in his earlier days.
And he was an excellent fielder. Clive
You look
Lloyd,
at Derek
the great Sir
Kalicharan.
Clive, next to Clive Lloyd, Kalicharan there.
I'm obviously talking about how Roger's looking out there in the middle.
And Kalicharan is padded up.
Yes, a good all-round cricketer he was when he played.
I remember in the 1983 one-day final when he set a good partnership with Milton Paidana. He joined forces with Guyana for 4 for 4 and got 68 not out.
And we were all listening, of
And the
course.
same guy we were interviewing, the 2 guys we were interviewing, he got 68 and Kamal Singh got 4. But the partnership with Paidano was the main thing that took Guyana to victory. The back there is Victor Benjamin.
Yes, I remember Victor.
Yeah, well, when we were playing youth cricket, he came 5 o'clock in the morning to train us. He was a GDF trainer, and
Wow.
over 40 Masters hurdles champion. And we dreamt about him. We had nightmares about him, actually.
Yes, Victor Benjamin.
And in those days, the fitness level of the players, you wanted to train. You didn't have to get people to urge you or force you
That's
to train.
true. That's
you,
true.
You train by yourself.
And I heard Tej Chandrapal talking about his father, Shivnarayan Chandrapal, and how he trained very hard in his time. Big shot!
Yes. Shamrock Barrington hits it onto
Onto the
roof.
commentary
Yeah, onto the roof.
box,
And it
roof.
bunks over and gone into Carifest Avenue.
Indrajit's vehicle is parked at the back there, but I think it was hit straighter. He's parked to the left of the booth. He's saying, he's calling the name of his insurance company.
Yes, hand in hand. So hand in hand gets a free plug. Every night you get
I didn't say it, he said it.
Yeah.
That was a big shot. Well played by Shemrai Barrington.
And there is the president of Guyana, His Excellency Dr. Bar Jagdeo. Irfan Ali.
He's a slip, is he?
Yeah, he's at slip.
A little wide.
Yeah.
This man loves cricket, doesn't he?
Yes, he loves cricket.
And what I like about him
and he's
is,
a people's person.
and he's giving good support
Yeah.
in terms of cricketing Guyana.
Yeah. And as I said earlier, he would be the one that initiated the cricket forum in CARICOM that's going to be held
Correct. That's coming up shortly.
in the 18th to the 20th in Trinidad and Tobago under the Prime Minister, Keith Rowley. So Bishu. And that's swept away by Barrington. And he gets another single. So
The
good
previous,
rotation
the
in
previous
strike.
delivery got some good turn,
Yeah.
but it was a little bit wide of the off stump.
And we see all the old stages there. We see the people from the NSC, Kashif Mohammed. He is also in the crowd there.
Roger, very respectful to that delivery from Bishu, a little quicker on the middle stump. Yes, really good atmosphere.
Forward he comes.
And Sean, a wonderful moment with the winning team of 1983, the double under Sir Clive Lloyd, coming here, and all the activities being advertised well in the country, to see the support of the Guyanese crowd coming out to watch the legends play.
Well, we see those people there seeing themselves on the monitor in the Everest building.
Yes, that's at the top.
Yeah, so
yes.
they can see us and we can see them.
And they're enjoying
And the
it.
whole world can see them.
That's the end of the over. Good cricket, good atmosphere. Inderjeet will join Sean.
Yeah, so a lovely day here, a lovely fun day. The winning is not important, it's the playing, camaraderie, the fun, the atmosphere.
Just like you're seeing on the screen there, Sean. And right around that area and the stands, that's a members pavilion, and coming around we have the stand. So many people are here this afternoon watching this encounter. And why not? You don't get these opportunities, sometimes only once in a lifetime.
Yes, and what I'm most impressed with when we get a chance to see is the vehicles on the ground. This is the first time I've ever seen this at a Georgetown ground.
Yes, and we're seeing executive bowling here because President Irfan Ali is back in the bowling lineup. And you look at them, the president bowling today, right-handed Roger Harper, and Harper playing it to Bishu. It tells a story.
Yes, and the thing about the president is that he's been on the field batting for a length of time, and now he's on the field from the beginning of the match, and he's bowling also.
Yes, he's a strong guy. He's still a youth. That is what we call youthful exuberance. He's not going to give it up at all. He enjoys his game. He knows how important this is for the unity of Guyanese. That's why he's won Guyana philosophy.
And he loves cricket.
He does.
And Harper is sweeping and missing.
And Roger is saying, hey, that's a wide down the leg side. And these guys know exactly what's happening out in the middle. Some shake hands, friendship.
That's Norman the Juice Man there. He's Ghana's #1 fan.
Yes, at every conceivable cricket
that's
ground.
him there with the helmet.
That's right.
Yeah.
Making some noise there too.
Yeah. And those are the Ghana cricketers that will soon hopefully be repicked by Sarwan and his selection panel to go to Antigua.
Yes, that's going to be the 4th round starting there on the 13th of this very month. Action in Trinidad and Tobago as well. So these guys having a good laugh and rubbing shoulders with their bodies, you know, enjoying a good atmosphere. President Irfan Ali down the leg side, and Roger can't believe that's the end of the over, looking for a wide, saying no, it's well within the legal limits. It's not a wide whatsoever. Roger, go back and bat.
Well, there was a little joke when Roy Fredericks in that 1983 final match against Jamaica made 217. Umpire David Narain was a constabulary officer working with the government, And I don't know. Fredericks was trapped in front, maybe, but umpire Narayan said not out. He was on 42. And people said that because he was the minister, the constabulary officer couldn't put him out.
Yes, and His Excellency Dr. Irfan Ali, big smile, enjoying the occasion, feeling, guys, let me give somebody else an opportunity to come out into the middle, and he's making
he's
his
done a
way.
good job.
Yes, excellent job. And the applause you're getting there,
Yeah.
you can hear in the background, is for the President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, who is ensured he had some cricket out in the middle.
And not only had some cricket, he contributed.
He bat,
Especially with the bat.
bowl,
Yeah.
and field.
And he's got 3 wickets. 3 overs for 9 runs. Very
Any
few
wickets?
spell. No wickets.
No, I think the umpires robbed him. Excellent bowling figure. So
Yeah.
he has been fully part and parcel of what is happening today.
And those guys there, Shaquille Williams talking to Norman the Juice Man, those are from Maltinose, the Maltinose crew.
Yes, and they're drinking some water there, I guess, in that blue container that we're seeing.
Well, those players there have no intentions of playing for Guyana anymore, so they can drink what they want.
They're going to wet their words, Sean. So, barring, that's a big drive. And just missing it, that's Barnwell.
Yeah.
Yes.
And these two players have to meet in the on the senior T20 semi-final at Maltinose ground. DCC plays Maltinose.
Down the track, and this blasted back over his head. And good feeling out on the boundary. Bishu is there.
So there's going to be a lot of by talking between the two.
Yes, and Sean, the first delivery Roger faced, he blasted it back over the head of the bowler. That's class. Roll back the years for this gentleman. And adjusted beautifully. Well, is it a catch?
Yeah, cotton ball.
Yeah, cotton ball. If I was the umpire, I'd have called no ball immediately.
Yeah, and those two are from DCC. DCC caught DCC.
Yes, exactly. Well, that's how it happens sometime, and Roger has to go. You think he's going to lodge a protest with the organizing committee?
No.
No. And Sion will tell us what's the score at the moment. 81 for the loss of 3.
Yeah.
We're in over number
And
11.
Stephen Jacobs there. Over number 12. So that's Stephen Jacobs there.
Stephen is with that dark grey cap with
Yeah.
the shades on, clapping
Yeah.
away at the
And
moment.
there is Moti, Niall Smith.
Yes, Niall Smith, I understand he's fit, so might very well be selected to move away with the Happy Eagles
Yeah.
for the next round of action. Gurakesh Moti, well, once he's fit, he's definitely in the team.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that.
So a lot of people could lose their places.
Might very well happen, you never know. And that guy that comes out in the middle to join
Derek
Barrington,
Kalicharan.
Derek Kalicharan. And what a fine player he was. And you know, Sean,
And he still plays Masters in the US.
yes, he does. And that's the reason why he's as fit as a fiddle. And Clyde Butts always in praise for Derek Kalicharan. And when he talked about Clyde Butts as his buddy, only then we could understand exactly what Clyde meant all along.
Yeah, well, he played with Botsy for Everest and Guyana. And he played against him when he played for Berbice, and Butts played for Demerara. But they formed a
Formidable, yes.
combination along with Roger Harper.
First ball he's facing here. Oh, and that one left him.
So there was Butts, Kalicharan and Harper. And Harper and Butts were two off spinners, but very different off spinners.
And look at the laughter out there where some of the legends are. They're enjoying absolutely what's happening. And on the back foot this time. And looking very comfortable. That's Garfield Charles.
He's always laughing.
Yeah, that's the nature of the man. Very humorous, very pleasant. Nice to get along
It's
with.
going to be a day that they will all remember forever.
Yes, sure.
And it's good. It's a good honor to be recognized and remembered for
Of course.
an achievement you did, even though it's 40 years ago.
Had to take time, and they had to ensure, time away from their jobs. Maybe some of them have brought their families along with them.
Yeah, most of them have brought their families.
Great sacrifice. And Derek Alicharan played for Guyana, the United States of America, Everest Sports Club, East Zone, Guyana under 19, Guyana senior team. Bats left-handed but bowl right-handed. And look at there.
Yeah,
That's just beyond the seawall, Sean. The breeze picking up, coconut palms in the distance.
And they're jumping on a bouncy castle. And you're going to see later in the afternoon as the place gets less hot, a lot of families are going to congregate there.
Yes, and Guyana is indeed a paradise.
Yes.
And I always say, if natural beauty is your idea of paradise, come to Guyana. Whether it's on the coast by the seawall or in the hinterland region, our rivers and creeks, our cuisine, buildings to visit, walking the street, and of course, sampling variety of food.
And if Naim Chan was here, he would have talked about the beautiful Guyanese girls.
Well, maybe he has gotten a little bit of a shock. He has departed and he has gone.
And you said he got married yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah, congratulations to him.
Ran the race Ronnie Sawan, and in his time, Sean, was such a class player with the bat in his hand.
Yeah, he's bowling leg spin now. He started bowling a lot for
Yes.
the West Indies as a leg spinner himself and Chandra Paul under Richardson's captaincy.
Yes, and in regional 4-day cricket, had a very good spell against the Leeward Islands in one of the matches. He picked up quite a few wickets.
And at Hampton Court in the fifth over version, he had 5 wickets against the Leewards.
Yes, he was always good with the ball. Maybe he should have bowled a little bit more.
He bowled a lot for Guyana though at youth level.
Yes. And we always will remember that test match in Antigua when himself and Shivnarine Chandra
Yeah.
Paul had to get, that 418, I think.
Yeah, that's still a record. Highest run chase, successfully done.
Yes. Today he's chairman of selectors, bringing his wealth
Yeah.
of knowledge to the game. Just want to remind our viewers and listeners about that 1983 Guyana team that won Shell Shield. That's a 4-day tournament, and the Judges Grant Harrison Line Trophy, the 1-day tournament for the first time. That team was made up of Andrew Light. Yes, look at it there you can see it. Andrew Light, Roy Fredericks, Roger Harper, Monty Lynch, Faoud Bacchus, Clive Lloyd, Milton Paidana, Derek Calicharan, Garfield Charles, Clyde Butts, Leslin Lambert, Tyron Etwaru, Ray Joseph, and Kamal Singh. Some of them has gone to the great beyond.
Yeah, just 3 of them though.
Yes, just 3.
Yeah.
That's a high number.
Not in context of 15.
They've gone to a better place.
Yeah, and Clyde Butts, who was one of the actual organizers of this event, he passed away last December.
Yes, the intentions were good for them to reach rub shoulders. He's gone to a better place.
And those are the wives
Of?
the players. The one in the middle is Monty.
I thought you were going to call one person name after you said wives.
No, the wives of the players.
I know, Sean.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. And it's good to see they're bringing along their families
Yeah.
as well. Family atmosphere.
And they're staying at the Princess Ramada Hotel. And the Ministry of Culture has played a big part in that. And the transportation yesterday to Hampton Court, which they thoroughly enjoyed. And there was a gala dinner last Friday night at the Princess Ramada.
Yes, and you just look at that blown up ball there. It says T20 ICC Men's World Cup, West Indies and USA. They're the host. And certainly that starts on the 1st of June
Yeah.
and ends on the 29th of June with the grand finale in Barbados.
Yes, and one of the semi-finals will be right here. And that's because of Mr. Ali also, the president, Dr. Arfan Ali.
Yes, Dr. Mohammed Irfan
Yes.
Ali. He has done a tremendous job. He knows the value of sport.
Yeah.
It's just not sport, it's an industry.
And he's the one also played a big role in getting Cricket Carnival.
Absolutely so.
And we've got the finals of the CPL for 3 years. This year would be the last year.
Yes, for now.
Yes, I'm sure it will be not the last year forever.
Yes, and look at the initiative. We're having a stadium at Anna Regina, one at Palmyra. That kept low. It simply means with first-class venues, international standard, Guyana can bid for more matches.
Yes, just like in squash, Guyana can play international squash now. The Ministry of Sport and the Guyana government has built a doubles squash court, the first ever in the Caribbean.
Yes, certainly, that is so true. And that's a lovely looking shot, getting on the back foot and forcing it away. Roderick Lovell. Just look at the replay here.
Yeah, that's Shamron Barrington hitting the ball there for 4. But when the match was played in Barbados, when Lovell was bowling, Donna Simmons asked me where does he play for in Guyana. I said GDF. She said that's why he's bowling military medium.
Yes, Donna
I
Simmons.
actually reminded him today.
He has the dignity. I think once at Boda in a 4-day match, he actually picked the bails of Richie Richardson.
Yes, but then there was a time when Raganaut went after him with boundaries galore.
And what the military man did? Well, he's wrapped on the pad. There's an appeal. He's gone. A leg before. And Roderick Lovell is going to be extremely happy.
And he's a former First Division player. And he's a present First Division player.
Let's see what's happening there. Did it pitch? Well, that was actually straight in front. The umpire had no hesitation. And we know Roddy's going to be happy.
Yes. And there's going to be a lot of talking also.
Yes. And Sion will tell us the score. 90 for 4. We're in the 14th over.
And that's the thing with His Excellency the President. He meets people. He's available to people. He's easily accessible.
Yes, certainly he is. And this is what we need as a country. We need our leaders to connect with people. And this is what we see that is happening in Guyana. It augurs well for the development and the total family of all Guyanese.
And many of the ministers in government are of a young age.
You see that man Trevor walking across the screen?
Yeah.
Never out with a bottle from his hand. He has to grip that.
Former Guyana hockey player. I guess you didn't know that.
Yes, well, Jonathan Fu has made his way out in the middle. And we all know about his prowess in T20 cricket.
Yeah, I remember in the last West Indies T20 tournament, Guyana played Barbados in the final. And there was 5 overs left with 40-something runs to get. And Fu was there.
I connect. Great news here as Derek Kalicharani has been a little spectator with the bat for the longest while, has now come to the
He's still at the
non-strikers end. I understand there is a free eye clinic going on the upper part of the main pavilion.
Okay.
So, you know, if you are listening to us on your phones here, please ensure you can visit that eye clinic. The opticians are there. Yes. These are the volunteers, I understand. That's a great job.
Great initiative.
Central Demerara Lions Club. And the Lionesses are there as well.
And
So-
they're facilitating the volunteers. I guess they're from a foreign country. Coming just specially to do that.
Your eyes are so important, Sean. So that's great news. Can visit them up at the top. And Jonathan Fu has been very, very quiet here.
I was telling you about this story with Jonathan Fu. Colin Croft said that it's going to take a miracle to get Guyana to South Africa. And Barry Wilkinson, who was the Barbadian journalist, almost was packing his bag. If Guyana had won, I would have gone. And so I said that Jonathan Fu could be that miracle. I went downstairs and I heard a lot of noise while going down. But there were tremendous support for Guyana, the Queen's Park Oval. So I figured that Jonathan Fu is having a show.
Yes.
And he won that match, and that's how I ended up seeing South Africa for the first time.
Yes, Stephen Jacobs there, with his famous dreadlocks.
Yeah.
Niall Smith, you're seeing there as well. And this is the guy that's been selling his plantain chips.
Yes, and he dances when the music starts. Shows great skill in balancing it. He was at the boxing
Yes,
the
go
other night.
boy, go man. Yes, and that's a skill by itself.
Yes, a skill.
He's not going to drop any of that.
No.
Yes, the famous plantain chip. And now we see President Ali is back out in the middle. That's good to see, taking a little bit of break. Yes, girl, challenge him. Let's see what's going to happen here.
Yeah.
Yeah? Go down, go down, go down. They just know what to do.
And it's so fun.
Yes.
And everybody's having a good time.
Of course, they do. So President Ali is going to walk beyond those yellow ropes, of course, mixing with the fans.
Yes, and there is the Minister of Sport now, bowling. That's what he does. When he was playing on the 19 cricket for Everest, he was a left-arm spinner. But
Yes.
he didn't make the Guyana team, so his parents got him to play, go to the university. That's Garfield Charles' brother, at the back there.
Yes, and we're seeing Clive Lloyd, Sir Clive Lloyd.
Yeah.
Yes, and he's going to be
And-
honored by CARICOM as well in July.
Yeah. He already got knighted in 2002.
Well, Charles threw a beamer there on
And that's a no ball, free hit.
and Derek is just laughing out in the middle. He knows that one slipped through the fingers of Minister Charles.
Well, Minister Charles Ramsey was telling me that because in those days you weren't afforded so much of money when you played cricket, but his father.
Oh, that's a one-handed. Well, Roderick Lovell. Good fielding there, Roderick.
His father sent him to study, and he went, and he doesn't regret it.
That's a full toss, and on the replay that we saw there just now, and hit high in the air by Derek Kalicharan.
Lovely
Roderick
catch
Laurel,
from
rolling back the years, man. And Jonathan Fu, just walking the single here. Sion,
Jonathan who?
Jonathan Fu.
Yeah.
Sion, what's the score? 97 for 4. And we just see here President Irfan Ali walking, and certainly will be greeting spectators. Here's a drive off the back foot by Derek Ali Choran. I will get a single in the process.
And of course, we recap the.
Yeah, and this is the atmosphere we've been talking about all along. The
Yes,
president
tremendous
connecting
atmosphere.
with his people.
And in the 1983 double, well, in the first class part, 2 centuries were scored by Fredericks, the last 2 matches, including a double. 2 were scored by Clive Lloyd. 2 were scored by someone else. I can't remember it's one. Bacchus scored the other one.
Yeah, and they're going to pick up another run out in the middle there. So, one more to the score. The over's been completing, and Sion, tell me that's 15 gone? 15 gone, 99 for the loss of 4. Once again, that's the team that played in 1983.
So I leave you, and you'll be joined by Matthew Kisoon. Let's leave the team there. Charles, Singh, Lynch, Joseph, Harper, Butts, White, Kalicharan, Leslin Lambert, Tyrone Etwaro, forward backers, Clive Lloyd, manager coach Roy Fredericks, Light, and Paidana.
Yes, and there's also Kamal Singh.
I mentioned him.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
right. So, yeah, good atmosphere we are seeing at the moment. Yes, sir, that sleepiness there. Letting out a yarn. Fu allowing one to go by outside the line of the off stump there. Yes, and we keep talking about the 4-day, but 99 is the score. They're looking for the 100. Jonathan Fu is in strike. And they can't get the single. So that 1982-1983 Jedis Grant Harrison Line Trophy, we're looking at most runs in that competition. Remember, Guyana had a double, the 4-day and the 1-day. Matthew, you might want to take us through there. Who scored the most runs?
Yes, look at Bacchus, 178, followed by Monty Lynch, 169. Right, the two Guyanese. And then, of course, Sebastian from the Windwards, he got 130. Then Desmond Hinch from Barbados, 128. And Kelly, Luther Kelly from the Leewards got 112, the top five.
Yes, there's a big slash here by Jonathan Fu. Goes close towards the boundary line. They get the single, and that's the 100 up. 100 for the loss of 4 in over number 16.
For the most wickets in that final, look at Garfield Charles. Well, in that tournament, 12 wickets, followed by Williams from the Windwards with 7, Malcolm Marshall from Barbados with 6, Thompson from Jamaica with 5, and Simmons with 5. So you look at the Guyanese leading out in both the batting and bowling departments in that tournament.
Yes, I do agree with you. Top run getter, a top wicket taker as well. They had all the right to win that Jedis Grant Harrison Line in 1983. Derek Kalichuran, he has been out there for a while, and good to see him. He still plays in the Masters category.
Monty Lynch got a century in that game. Derek Kalichuran, 39 first-class matches.
I think that happened in 1983 when you talk about Monty Lynch.
Yes.
When a bombshell was dropped, Timur Mohammed was dropped from the Guyana team.
Right.
And replaced by Monty Lynch.
Correct. And
One of the top players.
And we were all listening to it on radio. Look at this bowling in 39 matches, 98 wickets for Derek Kalichuran. First-class career and 4 list wickets.
Bragging rights.
Bragging rights, but we know for sure it's all about the atmosphere, all about history, all about a moment in time that must be cherished.
Yeah, that's a practice facility we're seeing there just beyond where they were standing.
Yes.
So,
earlier today I was having a chat about that. Jeet, it looks so good.
of course, lots of investment here at Everest, the home of John Ramsing, our executive producer. In fact, we're in the John Ramsing commentary box.
This man has had a great influence on the Everest club since he has come back with a bang, basically.
Yes, and we must say hello to the president of the Everest Cricket Club, who is actually the Speaker of the National Assembly in Guyana, the Honorable Mansour Nadir. He and his team, they are doing a fantastic job here at Everest. Looking to play the switch hit here, Jonathan Fu, not getting through with it.
Yeah, the Caribbean Anthony Adams, left hand round the wicket. Again, looks for the switch hit, gets it this time.
And he connects and connects nicely too. That's gone away to the boundary. And that will ease some of the pressure here. And Jonathan Fu has what it takes in 1 over to change the entire complexion of this game, Matthew.
A popular shot, of course, in white ball cricket. It's been played a few times in test match cricket, of course. David Warner loved to play that shot. Even the longer version, he's retired now.
How's that? And fancy himself in getting a wicket, and the toddler and maybe the mom looks as though it is just having a little
yes, fun
of
with the
course.
youngsters.
And this eludes the keeper. He's going to run a far away. Bishu is after it. And still very physically fit, Davindra Bishu. Running for all his worth.
Probably should have still been playing for Guyana.
Yes. You need some of these fellas to come back and play some cricket, man. Rub some shoulders at the club level.
But Jeet, look at that 83 team that we've been talking about. Something about that's a nice shot. Look at Roddy Lovell on the boundary, looking as good as ever. Isaiah Thorne is playing for Guyana.
Yes, and I know our cameraman can take us back there. Isaiah Thorne.
Oh yes.
Yes, he had a very good performance for the Guyana Harpy Eagles on his first outing at the regional 4-day level. Had a 4-wicket haul. Balls are quite a few bumpers. And he's blushing out there.
Would love to see him go on, stay fit, go on and play for many years for Guyana and even the West Indies, because he's got the pace, he's got the ability, he's got the talent.
Yes. And cameraman, can you take us back a little to Isaiah Thorne? Oh, he done gone already. Yes. He was blushing.
But I was getting back to the versatility of that 83 team that won the double.
Yes.
You think there's some missing elements in our cricket today, the Guyana side and so on?
Well,
you're looking for players that would have that sort of quality. I know it's a different generation we live in. Cricket has been approached differently now.
Yes, and that's our president once again. And the vice president as well, Honorable Dr. Bharat Jagdeo. The two bosses are in the house. I guess Big Mark might be here not long from now, or Honorable Prime Minister. Was here all day? Well, we have to find him in the crowd. He is a sport fanatic as well. Vice President Bharat Jagdeo, one hand in the pocket. I know he's going to get some monies out for further development of sports in Guyana. And this is where they're taking our country to a higher level.
So he's having a look at the practice facilities.
Yes,
there.
and that's great to see. And that's good news. Because when you have these gentlemen around, it simply tells you they're not only coming for the fun is there, yes, but they're serious about development of this country.
Eve Leary, Everest and Border.
And when you
use.
Yes, that's the Honorable Prime Minister of Guyana, Brigadier Mark Phillip there, just making his hands move there a little. He's in the center of those three guys on the left of your screen. Yes, thanks our cameraman for ensuring. Now we have the A-team in the house. The President, the Vice President, and the Prime Minister.
Spirit thought. The Prime Minister is a good man. He's my client.
Ah, that's nice.
Good guy. Very humble and nice.
Yes,
Vice President looks very fit.
he has always been fit mentally and physically. This has blasted away, beats Bishu over long on, out towards the boundary for 4. And Sion will just feed us with a score. 111 for 4. After 18 overs. Oh, we're in the 18 overs.
Jeet sheer power there. Even the fit Bishop couldn't get to that at long on.
Well, there's some touch of Chinese, Jonathan Fu, and they said if you want to get him out, you create a humorous story. He's going to laugh, his eyes will close, and you can get his wicket. Well, he's pelting a lash at this one, Jonathan Fu. How to make some room and just getting the single. Good pick up by Minister Charles.
Yes, he's been good out there as well in the field. So the big guys have been doing the work, giving good entertainment to the crowd.
Well, we're looking here. We see some hands on the jaws.
We've got a few foreigners in the house as well from outside of our country.
Yes, certainly. And this is in memory of those 3 that passed away, inclusive of Clyde Butts. Short and out Fox there. That's a slow delivery, well bowled.
That's Kevin Sinclair who's come out. Khalid Charan is retired out, as advised by our scorer. So
yes,
Kevin Sinclair, the newest test player from Guyana, got a half century in Australia there. A good cricketer from Barbados as well. I think he's one of the new finds that can go on for the future of West Indies cricket.
Well, he should have been in that team for quite some time now, but thank God that, you know, there's space for him, and he hasn't disappointed. And this is slam through mid-wicket, out towards the mid-wicket boundaries. Can it get there? It does. The fielder try a little bit of a football. He's not good at that art, and the ball just trickles. That's young Hetmeyer. What a fine talent is him.
He is. I like this guy. I think he's a really good cricketer for the future. Very fit cricketer as well.
So, the score has gone up to 116.
I think they need about 19 now. That's a wide. Caught behind.
Big appeal, not out. Yes, we want to shout out here to one of the greatest sons of West Indies cricket and a superstar at the world level as well. The Tiger himself, Shivnarine Chandapal, who is viewing and listening at the same time. Hello to you, Shiv. You know, it's a joy that you're watching this cricket. That's a legend in his own right.
Yeah, I was talking with his son Tej earlier in the pavilion, and I was saying to Tej, you know, you've got to do as good as your dad. I want you to be able to nudge the ball around and find the gaps, pick up the singles and so on. So
yes, that's Anil
scores.
Bihari there.
That's
His
right.
family. Yes, Anil is a senior executive member, especially with marketing and finance at the Guyana Cricket Board and Demerara Cricket Board, coming out with his family. He was a part of this, bowl a few overs out in the middle and batted as well too. So this has been the entire day, people coming in and staying, watching the cricket. The colors of the Guyana flag making the top of that pretty young lady. Yes, we're seeing those little shake. Partly she saw you, Matthew.
You can never tell. We're getting back to Shiv and the way Shiv got about his business when he played. Always a fit cricketer. He stuck to the basics, but he worked very hard, and you saw it in the output of what he did in his performance playing
Yes,
for Guyana and
and
West Indies.
he was a brave guy, Shivnarine Chandapal, and certainly his commitment. Davendra Bishu, over number 19 is about to be started, Sion. Over number 19. And what's the score? 116. 19 from 12. 19 from 12. And you're having three big guys now out in the middle. 4 of them actually. President Ali, Sir Clive Lloyd, Dr. Bharat Jagdev, Vice President of Ghana, and Mr. Norman MacLean, at one time Chief of Staff, or was he the Brigadier of the Ghana Defence Force? Major General, I've been told. Yes, retired Major General.
Yeah, still around and still looking a bit busy, of course.
And he was the President of the Ghana Cricket Board when we won the double. Here is Bishu. Oh, out Fox, it eludes the keeper. And this is going to come down for 4. That's 4 by, so we take 4 away from the 19. And we left with 15 for victory from 11 deliveries. Yes. 11 deliveries.
Bounce and turn, Jeet. Look at that.
Yes.
Bounce and turn.
15 runs for victory, Pastor.
Yes, young Hetmai couldn't get to that at all.
Bishu, and here's a defensive shot. Jonathan Fu. Well, who's going to win this game here today? Jonathan Fu? Will he ensure the president wins? Oh, big swing and a slow delivery. Can't score 2 consecutive dot balls. Something is happening in the middle, Matthew.
Yeah, he's got Kevin Sinclair the other end, so just get the run, bring Sinclair back on strike. They don't go for the run there.
Look, if President Ali as captain of the challengers team wins the champion here today, that's going to be a lifelong bragging rights.
It will be. It's history. It will be rich history. They can talk a lot about that.
And once again, the keeper is eluding this. And they've just taken 1, so they've... has he been run out?
Yes.
Yes, he's gone by the run out route, and Jonathan Fu has to walk away. A broad smile across his face.
Yeah, other non-strikers and run out. Sinclair is having a few words with him as he leaves the field. But how many they've got to get now? 15 to get. And again, Jeet, as you look at the top 4, as you call them, the big 4.
Yeah, and look at President Ali.
Giving advice out there.
Yes, he's telling his charges, listen guys, this is what I want you to do. And he's telling the batters as well, right now. Leon Johnson makes his way in. He's saying to him, you're not going to get it.
very nice atmosphere.
Yes.
This is what you wanted. This is what they asked for. The planning committee.
And look at Barnwell and Leon Johnson there again.
Yes.
Still 15 to get, Sion, from how many deliveries? 7 deliveries.
Teammates would have played for Guyana for a long time, the two of them. Johnson and Barnwell, of course.
And now Sinclair and his former skipper. And Leon Johnson has served his country excellently as a cricketer. Brought home the title, how many occasion match? Was it 5 times? 6 times. Regional 4-day tournament. And look at it. Bishu will be bowling to Kevin Sinclair.
But you can sense Leon Johnson's desire to be very much in the game of cricket still in Guyana.
Yes.
Whether by way of administration or giving advice, coaching, whatever.
Yes.
He has that desire, that hunger, that passion.
Quicker delivery, and Sinclair is looking to slam this one. He did, and they've gone for 2. 2 more to the score. Bishu is saying that's a short run. And the umpire says short run.
Lyndon Matthews, of course.
Yes, Lyndon didn't hesitate. The over's been completed. He agrees with Bishu, short run, so 1 has to be deducted. And the final over coming up, and a very competent scorer, Sian. 14 from 6 balls. 14 from 6, Sinclair. Johnson at the wicket. What beautiful sight. Do you get goosebumps when you see the golden arrowhead flutters in the wind?
I'm proud. I'm a proud Guyanese, very proud Guyanese. I'll never give up my identity for anything else. I always tell people that I love Guyana, and I really don't want to live anywhere else but in Guyana.
Yes, and
I'll be honest with you on that one.
yes, I'm glad to hear that. Guyanese to the bone.
To the bone.
Yes, and security standing at attention.
You know, Jeet, let's spare a thought for the way this whole program has been put together for these cricketers who would have won the double.
Absolutely
Fantastic
so. Amazing. To all the legends, to all involved here. You know, we say congratulations to you guys. You have done a fantastic job, and that's good to see.
And the thing is, the late Clyde Buss was a part of that planning committee, but he's not alive to see it fleshed out today, not here in the flesh to celebrate.
It's a pity.
A pity, but thank heavens it's been a good program put together by those who planned it well, and they've gotten the support all the way through, culminating in this game here today.
Yes, so 15 runs to get, 6 deliveries to bowl.
14.
14? Yeah, that's right. Sorry, I beg your pardon. 14, and Anthony Adams will be bowling to the left-handed former Guyana captain Leon Johnson. He's in business now, Leon, and look at what's happening out there. They are glued to what's taking place out in the middle.
Marvin Dudindial, you've just seen him.
Here's a big swing. Well, that's gone. Has it enough to clear? It has. That's a maximum. And Johnson was telling President Ali something as he walked in that exchange of words. 6 runs. So we subtract 6 from 14. Your maths is good. How many remain?
That's 8. 8
Yes.
from 5 deliveries.
The man that deals with money, his maths is going to be good. 8 from 5. Take this delivery, Pastor.
Anthony Adams, yes, Caribbean. Left hand orthodox. You look at the crowd, everyone glued to the middle there. And their eyes are out there, pinned to that pitch that will be dug up after this game. It's a big switch outside the off stump. Bowled him, is he? He's gone. Inside the edge onto the stumps.
Well, I think he might very well be walking straight to President Irfan Ali. Let's see. I'm sure our cameraman is going to follow this journey of Leon Johnson as he makes his way out. I wonder what he said to the president. Yeah, now he's saying to himself, I should have played the cover drive. But he's walking back. And I'm almost sure that President Ali is waiting for him there to say something back to him. These two guys, they get along very well. They are friends.
Fullerton coming out now. Played for Guyana. I think he played for Jamaica, if I'm correct.
Yes, he did.
Right. Played for the West Indies. Played a couple of test matches. Good fit cricketer too in his day and time. probably needed some more opportunities. Azad Fududin, they say that Clyde Butts, the late, helped to mentor him, helped to bring him through nicely. All right.
Sian, remind us of that score. 8 runs to get from 4 deliveries, and Azad Fududin.
Jeet, I thought it was smart cricket from Adams Justin when he bowled that one quicker.
Yes.
Kept low. And Leon was looking for the big drive inside edge onto his stumps.
Yes, so you can feel a little pressure out in the middle there. And of course, that young lady with the straw sucking up something nice from the bottle. She felt the pressure. That's just relieving the nerves a little. Azad Fududin faces this one from Adams. Fududin is swinging on the pad. And they have taken a 1. That's all. Good return fire in there from Ramnare Sarwan.
3 test matches to Fududin. 122 runs.
Yeah.
And nothing much in his bowling, of course. Didn't pick up a wicket, but he bowled 3. What he bowled? He bowled a few overs.
Yes, Sion, tell us what now the requirement. 7 from 3. And Kevin Sinclair is going to take this one. He's looking around and sure he knows where he wants to put this away. His Harpy Eagle teammate. So here is Adams. 3 deliveries to go. 8 runs for victory. Let's see. Switch it. It's in the air. Will it go away? It will not get there. So they're going to go back and complete 2. Those are 2 valuable runs. 6 runs to get from 2 deliveries.
Always gettable.
5?
5 from 2.
5 from 2.
That's more than gettable, G. It's Sinclair who's facing.
Yes.
And
5 from 2. So let's see who's going to win. Will it be Clive Lloyd, who has been the skipper of this team in the dressing room? Did not take the field, came out and spun the toss though.
That's right.
And that's good to see. Or will it be President Irfan Ali who is captaining the challengers?
The big cat needs more than 9 lives.
Yes, and these people all day long enjoying it tremendously.
Beautiful.
So let's see 5 to get from 2 deliveries. Anthony Adams to Kevin Sinclair.
And G, this is what cricket should do. Bring the crowd together, bring peoples of all
Yes.
walks of life together.
That's Milton Paidana you're seeing there. Oh, outside the leg stump. Did it touch anything? We shall see. Let's see what the umpire will do. Leg boys. Leg boys, says the umpire. 4 to get from 1 ball. 4 to get from 1 ball. And look at those fellas there. Look at these. Yes, man.
What's your prediction, G? A 6 or a 4?
My prediction is that the challengers will win this one. I think destiny might play out here today. You never know. Yes. Let's see. So everybody glued to their television sets or your smartphone. And in fact, the hundreds here at Everest. Here is the final delivery.
Play a Narsingh shot. You remember that?
Yes. Azad Fududin is in strike. And here is Anthony Adams. 4 to get from 1. Is it possible? It is. Might be improbable. Big swing in the air. It's coming down towards Bishop. They've gone for 1 and they still win. And a 2-1 victory here for the challengers. They've defeated the champions in this reunion T20 match to remember, you know, everybody that played in that 1983 regional West Indies tournament. They made it a double, brought home the Shell Shield and the Judges Grant Harrison Line trophy. Congratulations. Look at the skipper, President Ali. He's ecstatic. Sir Clive Lloyd is there as well. And in memory also of Clyde Butts, who passed away, Andrew Light, who has gone to the great beyond, and of course the great Roy Fredericks.
Lovely game of cricket, lovely atmosphere at Everest. One of the grounds to be used for practice matches of the T20 World Cup. Really well set up and well planned by the organizers. They've got their money's worth if there was money involved here in terms of anyone getting prizes, but they all deserve a prize for a great job of putting together what will go down in the history books as one of the moments in Guyana's cricket that will come forever. A tremendous effort by the legends to come back, and that's so important.
Yes, and an ecstatic president, President Mohammed Irfan Ali, reaching, his teammates and congratulating them. He's the skipper of a proud team, hugging Devendra Bishu in the process. And of course, it has been a fine day so far. They will have some presentation. But that period, 1983, Matthew, maybe you and Sean can discuss that period. One of the glorious periods of West Indies cricket. So many names that scored hundreds and picked up wickets and yet couldn't make that very, very strong West Indies team.
Yeah, and I wasn't 17 years old as yet, and really you had to listen to everything in those days. We were all glued to our radios in the jeep, and what was so exciting is that we couldn't see anything with the naked eye, but we were all excited. We were all happy to listen to cricket on radio, listen to the good effort put in by the Guyana team under Clive Lloyd, the victories that he would have won on this belt, many victories, and Guyana being on.
Yeah, Matthew, sorry to cut you, but look at those guys there. Andrew Light, Roy Fredericks, Roger Harper, Monty Lynch, Fowd Backus, Clive Lloyd, Milton Paidana, Derek Alicharan, Garfield Charles, Clyde Butts, Leslin Lambert, Tyron Etwaru, Ray Joseph, and there is also Kamal Singh. Those were the members of that 4-day and 1-day team.
You had any favorites from that group that you really,
William White as well is in that team.
Right. Any of your favorites from that squad? I mean, it's a great squad. In those years, it performed well, but there must have been some players that stood in your memory that was truly outstanding.
Yes, we mentioned the likes of the late Roy Fredericks, a double 100 against Jamaica, 217, and then 103 at Albion against Trinidad and Tobago. He practiced with the team. He wasn't part of that touring party. When they came home for the matches, you heard Tyron Etwaru said they weren't playing well. He, in fact, Tyron wasn't playing well. Fredo joined the camp, and the rest is history. Fowd Backus, one of the best hundreds, a blistering 143 against a very good Windward Islands bowling attack. Clive Lloyd himself, such was the talent of that batting team. In the spin department, look at the combination. 2 off spinners of the highest class and a leg spinner of the highest class. We speak of Clyde Butts and Roger Harper and the left-handed Derek Kalicharan. Milton Paidana behind the stump, a complete winning combination.
I don't think the Guyana could have asked for a better.
Yeah, Sean, join us, please.
It was a combined team of versatility and skill and talent. And good balance, and that's what you really need in our cricket today now, Jeet. We've got a lot of T20 cricket, white ball cricket being played. The skills of cricketers coming out now, it's not always that easy. The format of cricket has changed a lot, but really the Guyana side then was an unbeatable team.
Absolutely. So beautiful scenery here at Everest. That's the Atlantic Ocean, majestic in nature to the north, and coconut palms. Always very busy with traffic at this time. All lends to the atmosphere here at Everest. Sean, myself, and Matthew, we were talking about that 1983 team. As a little boy growing up, you listened to commentary there. Guess that was great motivation.
Yes, it was. I actually listened to the World Cup, the 1983 World Cup, and that broke my heart. I was just 13. I listened to it on the radio, walking about down Sherry Street, going to my friend who had one of the few people who had a television set. So when I went there, I saw the West Indies, Richards and so batting, and then the collapse. That catch by Kapil Dev.
Yeah, you talk about that catch by Kapil Dev. I remember the sound of Kapil Dev's voice. He shouted on Yashpal Sharma to leave it. And he ran all the way. He knew how important was Sir Vivian Alexander's wicket.
Yeah, but back to the championship winning teams. They won both the 1-day and the 4-day tournament. That team only produced 4 test players. 4 people went on to play test cricket. Butts, Clive Lloyd, Fowd Backus and Roger Harper.
But did Milton Paidana toured with the West
Yeah, he
Indies
played-
to Pakistan?
Yeah, he played 1-days.
1 days.
And so that team had no few big name players, but they played as a family, as a team. And everybody chipped in. If you look at these stats, everybody did something at some period of time. And even in the 1-day, Monty Lynch didn't make much runs. In the 4-day, he didn't play much matches. But in the 1-day, he made 127 against Barbados, facing Marshall and so on. And Fowd Backus made the most runs, but he didn't score a century. He scored a century in the 4-day. He scored 80, 74, and another half century. So he made the most runs without scoring 100. So it was a team effort. And Kalituran and Paidana had a great partnership in the final before Kamal Singh came in and hit 44. And then they were bowled out for 83. The Jamaicans,
Jamaica.
with Charles getting 5 for 18 to finish it off.
Yes, that's history. And Matthew, so good to see these legends of that tournament coming back together, rubbing shoulders, playing with the youths in the middle, and planned it so beautiful. It was the first time too for Guyana, and the president of the Guyana Cricket Board, then Norman McLean, he is a part of the organizing committee here, and he's ecstatic. It augurs well when you can remember whence you came.
A visionary and a very innovative guy, Norman McLean, always full of ideas and thoughts, and that's what you want from leadership, right? And very nice guy. And that's what you want. If you're talking cricket and cricket going on, especially from a Guyana standpoint in West Indies, you need men of stability at the top there. You need good leadership. You need people who are visionaries. And when you talk about this team coming back, the 1983 team that won the double for this occasion, this is something that can go on to happen in the future, where you have other teams as well. Look at the Leon Johnson, 6-time winner with the regional tournament. You can think about that looking ahead with his teams as well, who would have won those tournaments 6 times. You can think about that for the future as well, and have these reunions. It's powerful. It brings together people of all groups, of all classes, and it causes us to be united together in the G. And that is what you want from the game of cricket, to bring people together. Sports must unite us together and make us live good and happy all together.
I can't agree with you more, Matthew. Well said. And that's the reason why Sir Viv Richards, in one of his biography, said, whenever I hold that bat and I walk out into the middle, all I see in front of me is that black woman with her basket on her head, makra basket on her head, walking out into the sun. This is what Caribbean cricket, they played for an identity, and Sean, that older generation understood what West Indies cricket meant to West Indians.
Yes, and we talk about leadership, and everybody in that team spoke about the leadership of Sir Clive Lloyd. He was arguably one of the greatest captains in the world. Won 2 World Cups, reached the semi-final, reached the final of the 3rd one, which was the biggest upset in history when India beat West Indies, and also won 11 test matches back-to-back. That was later broken by Australia. He also played a big role winning most of the 27 test series that the West Indies had won from 1980 to 1995. So that makes him a great leader. When we talk about unity, Charles Ramsden at the dinner said that cricket is the foundation of our culture. Cricket is our #1 sport. When you come up due to in colonization days, and the white people would teach you to play cricket, they would only teach you to bowl because they wanted to bat. That's why we produce so many fast bowlers. And later on, to come back, and that 1950 victory by West Indies at Lord's was the first time we beat England at Lord's in their home. And
Those little palms of mine.
yeah, and there was a song. John Goddard captained the West Indies, and then Frank Worrell, and then later Clive Lloyd, and then Viv Richards. And that in those times, it was passion and dedication and commitment to the cricket. There was not so much about big money. Now it's all about the money. If you don't get paid well, you don't play in this league, you don't play in the league. So many opportunities these young players get now. But in those days, it was the ethos that built the community together, the West Indian community. You played for the West Indian people. When in England, the West Indians won, they walked with their chest up. Nowadays, they don't even go to work the next day when West Indies lose.
Yes. Now, the thing is, why is it that those players, in those good areas, a great era of West Indies cricket, played with that passion and played with that pride? If you look back, that Clive Lloyd team that went to England not the Clive Lloyd team, was Sir Frank Worrell, went to England in 1963.
Right.
And, they played so well at cricket. Absolutely splendid. I remember Pat Dial writing in one of his pieces said, the Queen of England could not stand West Indies beating England at their own game. So she decided, all right, we're going to give you independence. And if you look at the West Indies, so many territory got independence in the 1960s with the hope that with independence they're going to split apart the collectiveness of West Indies and weaken their team. It did not happen.
It just couldn't happen, because when you look at the value of cricket in the Caribbean region, and when you talk loyalty, you talk about loyalty and playing for pride, money can never pay for that. And that's important. But today's youngsters, it's all about money. They might have talent and ability, yes, but it's all about the money in today's world. And that has detracted from the values that are being lost in cricket, and especially in Caribbean cricket. And that's what we need to get back on board. We need to get cricketers who, even though you play and you want the money, of course, because you've got to live, you've got to take care of a family, you've got to think about the future. Nothing is wrong with that, but where is the balance? Where is the loyalty to West Indies cricket? What does it mean to understand the vision and reality of West Indies cricket and the struggles we've gone through in those early years, in the 1930s when we started to play test cricket and so on? It's not been easy, but when we had the good times, now when we look back, can we regard ourselves to say, here's an opportunity for West Indies cricket to get back to the top? And we look at these legends, we look at the players. A lot of our youngsters haven't read anything about our players. They don't read anything about these past players, the Sir Garfield Sobers and others, the 3Ws and whatnot. Even the Brian Lara of recent, many don't read much about him, these little boys coming up now. So what can they emanate from these players? They've got to read, they've got to study about them, and they've got to put a lot of what they have done into practice. West Indies cricket has got to get back to the top in the Jeet and Sean, and it can get back there.
Yes, as far as reading about West Indian cricketers is concerned, while there's some classics out there, there are not too many. And especially in our school system, in our history books, we need to ensure we get them there. Teach West Indies cricket in our school systems, so you're coming through at the early stages.
Yes, there's a subject in cricket in the CXC, but the English said
not all schools offer that.
Yeah. The English said they would rather lose a warship than a cricket match, and so when West Indies beat them, the people, these cricketers, I don't think.
You mean the Bismarck went down?
Yeah, I don't think these people, these cricketers, consider how people feel when they win or lose. And one of the few is the sensation Shamar Joseph. He's brought a spark of hope that West Indies can progress, but he's just one. And because he's fretted so much, it's because we're searching desperately for heroes.
Yes, definitely. Well, we have found one in Shamar Joseph, and I hope that he can inspire another long line of outstanding West Indian fast bowler. Matthew, as we wrap up, final word from you.
Yes, it's been good. The atmosphere great. The planning, the execution of the plans for the Legends and the 1983 team that won the double. I know you'll call the names again before we close, but they've been excellent. You see it on screen there. What a team! What a team that Guyana produced in 1983. Inderjeet will call those names, but I'll tell you what. I was very happy to listen to cricket, hear their names being mentioned. Clyde Butts, in particular, my encounters with him would have been four. I would say four encounters, two off the field, and two knowing him in person and doing cricket commentary, and also when I was an umpire. That's how I got to know Clyde personally. But I didn't know him. I only knew of him when his name was called in cricket, playing the game, of course. And then when I went to the 1985 Test match at Border to watch him play against New Zealand, I saw him from a distance.
Oh, that's good news. Well, Sean, who came very close to play for Guyana as an off spinner, I'll give him the privilege of calling out those names that you're seeing on the screen, starting from the left.
Yes, that's Garfield Charles, Kamal Singh, Monty Lynch, Ray Joseph, Roger Harper, Clyde Butts, William White, Derek Ali Charan,
And those sitting now.
Leslin Lambert, Tyrone Etwaru, Fouad Bacchus, Clive Lloyd, the manager, coach, player, Roy Fredericks, Andrew Light, and Milton Paidana. And I must say about Clyde Butts, he's my inspiration as a bowler. And my other inspiration is Red Pereira. But Clyde Butts, I learned a lot from just looking at Clyde Butts bowl. And I remember that that match, what you talk about, 1985, when he made his debut. I was in the schoolboy stand. I was 15. You were in Clive Lloyd's stand. And maybe those things are disappointing things for these players because there's no longer Clive Lloyd stand. If you look at Border, no longer Lance Gibbs stand. And Border should be an icon, but that's another matter for another day. But I think Clyde Butts, on that day, there was a rest day.
Correct.
And he got married on that day. That was his big achievement because he didn't get much wickets. I don't think he got any wicket in that match. And he got married and he had the opportunity for the entire West Indies players to attend his wedding.
Yes, and he did not even know that he was selected. One day before they traveled, the name Clyde Butts was mentioned. He was told he had to get back to Perseverance at Maikoni, the land of his birth, to get his bag packed. Then head back to Georgetown to get on to the Timeri International Airport then. So this is it from the Everest Cricket Club ground in Georgetown, Guyana. What a terrific day of this reunion of the 1983 Shell Shield and Jedis Grant Harrison Line players who brought home the double championship in that year, and it's held in the memory of the late Clyde Butts and before him also Andrew Light and Fredo Roy Fredericks. They too were called to the great beyond. On behalf of the entire organizers and the commentary panel, John Ramsing, Matthew Kisoon, Sean Devers, Naeem Chan, Sion, our scorer, Ronaldo Magarel, our technician here, our cameraman, our tall cameraman, I'm just missing his name, Harry, and Lekram, Sonil paid us a visit, and Andrew feeding us with information. This is Inderjeet saying goodbye until next time.
Leon Johnson, the man of the moment, making some adjustments to the field once again. He's really a captain. He shows that leadership ability. He has a mannerism. So he's going under the bat now, Clyde Butts.
Should Guyana ask him to stay on? I think when you've got a captain that can lead your side like this, he helps the youngsters as well. Shouldn't that be one of the issues that you're going to ask him to stay on? That's out. That's gone. Guyana has won. That was a short delivery. It was slide on. He was looking to swing to leg. Went straight to the field. And he's gone. And you can see everybody running and hugging and jumping on each other. Leon Johnson is lying on the ground. Obviously, emotion has gotten to him more than anyone else. So well done, Guyana. Excellent fight back. Excellent